Stay. Good evening and welcome to the July 21st, 2025 meeting of the City of Tuscaloosa Planning and Zoning Commission. Any written comments sent to staff are forwarded to the commission directly. At this time, I'd like to introduce our staff. We have Mr. Jimbo Woodson, Deputy City Attorney, Brett Blackburn, Graduate Engineer, Zach Pons, Director of Planning, Leota Coyne, Principal Planner. There are 9 members of the Planning Commission, all who are appointed by the mayor for staggered terms, with the exception of the City Council representative who is appointed by the City Council. I ask the commission members to introduce themselves and state their occupation, beginning with Mr. Rumsey. Mr. Rumsey?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Stephen Rumsey, a business owner.
Dina Prince, attorney.
Portia Clark, 311, call center manager.
Tim Harrison, General Contractor. Bill Wright, business owner. Let's go down the line.
Vince Dooley, UA Campus Planning.
Councilwoman Raven Howard.
There were sign-up sheets located outside for public comment. 4 speakers are allowed to speak in favor of a petition, and 4 speakers are allowed to speak in opposition of a petition. All speakers will have a maximum of 5 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. Tonight's procedures: the commission will take up items in the order of the final agenda. The commission will initially receive a presentation from the staff as to the details of the agenda item. Additionally, we may hear certain matters involving the same property, such as an annexation and a zoning matter concurrently, although we will take separate votes on each matter involving the same property. After the staff presentation, we'll then call upon the petitioner to present their case. The petitioner will have a maximum of 10 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. At the conclusion of the petitioner's remarks, we'll then call on any party in order of sign-up who desires to support the petition. Thereafter, we'll call upon any party in order who sign up those who oppose the petition. When it's your turn for comment, please introduce yourself, stating your name and address to the commission. Again, any written comments have been included into the record. After receiving the remarks of those who oppose the petition, the petitioner will have the opportunity to respond to those objections. Any rebuttal will be limited to 2 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. If the petitioner presents any new information in response to the objections, the commission will allow those who oppose the petition the opportunity to respond to the new information only. Any response will be limited to 2 minutes unless the commission votes to allow a longer time. During the course of this presentation, you may be interrupted by any member of the commission for clarification or additional information. Such interruptions will not reduce your time. Once the commission members are satisfied they received all relevant information, I will then close further discussions by the public, at which time the commission members will discuss the matter and then vote. After the vote, you are free to leave. These proceedings are video recorded and broadcast live. All in-person public comments should be made at the podium into the microphone. Jurisdiction: in all matters pertaining to the following items, this commission serves as the final authority. Subdivisions located within the city limits, subdivisions located outside the city limits but within the city's planning jurisdictions, developments with a special district and approval letters for developments in historic buffer zones. As to all remaining agenda matters, including annexations, rezonings, planned developments, and street vacations, this commission serves as a recommending body to the City Council. In that regard, our decisions are in the form of a recommendation to be presented to the City Council, and the City Council will make the final decision on those matters. Subdivision approvals require the affirmative vote of 6 members of the Planning Commission. All matters which are recommendations to the City Council require a majority vote for an affirmative recommendation. At this time, I would ask, do any members of the commission have any conflicts of interest as to any agenda matters before us tonight? If so, please state for the record. Having heard none, I will ask the staff to confirm on the record that proper notice has been given to all parties in interest as required by law as to all matters before this commission tonight.
It has.
Thank you. With that, we will begin with approval of the minutes. As the Planning and Zoning Commission received the synopsis of the June 2025 meeting, I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes unless there are any deletions, additions, or corrections. Having heard none, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it.
Good evening, Commission. Starting off tonight with our consent agenda, we have 3 items. We did not have anyone sign up out front for these.
Anyone here to speak on or for the consent agenda items? Having heard none. Commission, before us, we have 3 agenda items on the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it.
All right, moving into our cases to be heard tonight, starting off with an annexation request, that is AN 1125, annexing approximately 1.8 acres. This is located at 15104 Burnt Pines Road. You can see we're pretty far north on the lake here off of Highway 69. You can see it's single-family home touching the lake. You can see that blue piece to be annexed into city limits by touching Lake Tuscaloosa here. They'd like to annex to enter city schools. This is identified as a future service expansion area and framework. And here are department comments. We did not receive any public comments. Do you have any questions for staff?
Ma'am, thank you. Petitioner. Again, name and address for the record, please. Name and address for the record.
Brent Keith,
Whitney Keith.
Address
15104 Burnt Pines, Northport.
and your request to be annexed to the city for,
School purposes, mainly. Our children were in Northridge. We moved and want to retain them in Northridge.
any other comments? Any questions for the petitioner? Thank you very much. Commission, before us, we have an annexation request of 15104 Burnt Pine Road. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Welcome to the city.
All right, next up, we have another annexation request. That is AN 1225, annexing approximately 0.58 acres. This is at 15440 Sandstone Road. A similar situation here. You can see we are up on the lake off of Highway 69 North. Again, touching the lake here. You can see that blue piece to be annexed into city limits shown in yellow. Again, they would like to annex for city schools. And this is also in our future service expansion area. We did not receive any public comments. Do you have any questions for staff?
Petitioner.
Mr. Chairman, why couldn't we put these on consent agenda? We've never turned anybody down. I mean, as long as they sign off that you're not going to accept those services or respect them, couldn't we?
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to do that because it's a recommending vote that y'all are doing.
Okay.
Y'all are not in trouble. You're good. Name and address for the record, please.
Sonia Bice.
Brandon Bice.
Address.
We want to rezone for Dollar to go to school at
Say the
Northridge.
address for the record, please.
15440 Sandstone Road.
School purposes.
School purposes, yes.
Any questions for these petitioners? Thank you. Having heard none, Commission before us, annexation request of 15440 Sandstone Road. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Welcome to the city.
Thank you.
Keep this up, we're gonna build some more schools.
All right, Commission, one more annexation request. That is AN 1325, annexing approximately 81.06 acres, consisting of several parcels acquired to create the public right-of-way for McWright's Ferry Road. This is located generally from 3600 Oak Glen Drive southwesterly to the northern bypass at Bryant Bridge. You can see this area here. It's kind of just north of the river here near the Bryant Bridge. You can see several parcels here. And again, that area in blue to annex. The city is the applicant here. We'd like to annex the right-of-way and city-owned parcels for McWright's Ferry Road extension. This is in our primary expansion area. And here are department comments. We did not receive any public comments. And do you have any questions for us as the petitioner?
Who's gonna be the petitioner here? I know it's a city, but who's gonna represent?
I'm representing us.
Name and address for the record, please.
I'm Leota Coyne, and I guess my address is 425 25th Avenue East.
Ms. Coyne, are y'all gonna pay more taxes to yourself?
This is, I'll let Mr. Pons answer this question for me.
Guys, this is our
I was
chance
about to
getter.
say, yeah, no kidding. And just for the record, everything we saw in the hatch is all currently city-owned property, correct?
That's right.
In case somebody had questions. It is kind of odd how it all kind of lays out there, so. Any questions for staff or petitioner? Having heard none. Commission, before us, we have a request, annex 81.06 acres. You know the address. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. Welcome to the city again.
All right, moving into our preliminary plat tonight, that's S6625 Foster's Acres subdivision. This is consisting of 9 lots on approximately 67 acres, located south of 11892 and 11969 Meadowview Drive, and east of 17180 and 17174 Fennell Road. This is not in city limits. You can see again, we're pretty far north on the lake off of Highway 43. You can see a pretty large parcel. It's vacant today. It does touch Lake Tuscaloosa to the east. You can see that plat with contours. We have 7 lots up here. And you can see in the next slide a little more clearly those 2 larger lots, one of those fronting Lake Tuscaloosa here. We do have 3 variance requests. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
Engineering, we always ask the question of those 3 variance requests. Do you have any issues with any of those or any comments?
Engineering has no issues.
Thank you. Any questions for staff or call petitioner? Petitioner.
Ron Henderson with Tuscaloosa Engineering. You can see this is a very large parcel adjoining on the east with Lake Tuscaloosa. The larger parcel number 9 is 46 thereabouts acres. And it's adjoined by the road to the southeast. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, that road right there. The parcel to the southwest is a 16-acre parcel, and it is adjoined on Fennell Road. And the 7 lots are all 1 acre, allowing for the 1 acre setback because of Lake Tuscaloosa, 1 acre parcel size. That road has not been platted yet, never been platted as I know of, and we're gonna have to set up that road on the plat, so that those lots may change slightly, not enough to matter. We will represent that as they'll all be 1 acre parcels, but that road has never been surveyed in, so that we can find. So the center line of the road it'll just have to be a 60-foot or 50-foot easement, 50-foot right of way. We are giving the 5-foot extra right of way on Fennell. I don't know of any other questions or issues that might be included in this request.
Questions?
You say that road, is that, looks like Wagoner Drive?
Yeah, it's a short road. It doesn't serve very many people. It is paved, but to my knowledge, I can't find anybody that surveyed it yet. But I have represented it as best as I could on the map.
So you say if you're resurveying that and you adjust that road, you're still gonna maintain the size of those lots as 1 acre?
Those lots will maintain the same size. As best as we can tell from what we've done so far, all of those lots do touch the road. What will be the new right-of-way. Any other questions?
Any other questions for petitioner? No, thank you. Do we have someone that did sign to speak? So hang tight.
Chairman did have one person sign up, Aaron Connell.
Aaron Connell, 17200 Fennell Road. I live in the vicinity of this development. We do not wish to have more houses developed along that road, but the question I did have looking at the plat, so on the northwest corner of this is another, I don't know, half acre or so that was not divided out or anything shown that'll be done with that, the triangle piece up there in the corner.
Across the way, across the, on the other side
Yeah,
of the
across
road.
Fennell Road.
Do they own it? Does the
Yes, it
petitioner
was
own
all part of that same parcel number.
Okay. It just had a different name on there. So. Or different from who I thought owned it. Yeah,
And it's not outlined in the red, it's across.
I see.
Is it, it's currently a separate parcel, correct? Correct.
Staff?
No, it's part of the same parcel.
Can you get a boat in there?
Not really, no, sir. I mean, with a little dredging maybe, but not currently.
Jimbo, if somebody wanted to dredge that, would you let them?
Any questions for the gentleman?
It's showing as a separate parcel.
Say again?
It's showing as a separate parcel.
It's a separate parcel. Currently?
Yes,
So that question's that, they don't have to, it's separate from
Not to
the,
include it.
right. They don't need to include it in this subdivision.
Just the owner will maintain it. I mean, it's an oversight on my part, honestly. I didn't even recognize that it was part of the subdivision, I guess. So, the owner will maintain it, probably add it to one of the other lots, because, I mean, it's useless. I mean, as far as the size, it's too small for one, it's less than 1 acre.
Wait, is it part of the
I'm
parcel
about
or
to
not?
say, yeah, is it or isn't it? It's not.
It's not, so you don't need
It's
to worry
not part
about
of,
it.
it's not, okay, all right, well,
No issue.
moot point then.
That's right.
Yes.
so, Ron, you said that the road currently paved?
Yeah, I don't know what the name of the road is. The road that's the northwest corner is paved, yes, sir. And it goes back to those 2, 3, 5, 8 lots, 10 lots. It's a pretty short road. It's meets county. It is the 20-foot section county road. I went out there and measured it. So it is the 20-foot county section road for small subdivisions, small use roads. It meets that criteria, so.
Pull back up the, yeah.
What is that, what's that right of way across?
Staff, can you determine that, or
Looks to be a 60-foot right-of-way.
Mr. Henderson, I think the question, what's this right away in the middle here?
I'm sorry, say again?
In this middle piece here between lots 8 and 9, what is that?
What's that,
The right of way.
what's that 30-foot right of way or whatever it is, running across the middle of the 67 acre?
Oh, that's not a right-of-way. That's the minimum building.
These are the setbacks.
That's the minimum building line, lot lines and minimum building lines.
What's that right there?
Right there.
So that's the lot line
That's a
in
lot
the
line
middle. And
with
then
the minimum
building
building lines on
lines.
either side.
Oh, okay.
setbacks.
Already included, okay.
It looks like a power line, it looks like a.
It's not.
utility.
It's a creek that runs right there.
How would you access lot 9?
It's accessed off the road to the southeast. He's got it colored in yellow here.
Fennell Road?
What's the name of that road?
Fennell Road
It's
down
gonna be Fennell Road, yeah.
Stonecliff
Public right
Drive.
of way.
Stonecliff Drive ends right here where that yellow circle is.
Down here.
So they've got their public street frontage right there on that little access point on the bottom right of your screen.
Okay, I see it there. That's how you get to 9.
That's right.
All right, so,
Okay.
tell anything off. Where you've got the yellow circle, is that how they're getting there?
That is just the required public street frontage for lot 9 for this large lot, which means that they're meeting the subdivision regulations. So
I'm so
when this
sorry,
is,
I did not understand that. Okay. So what you're saying is, and it's so hard to see these plats, I wish I could take my fingers. I think I do see the word drive where that little yellow circle is, but, I mean, is it paved? Is it?
Yes, paved
So
road.
they'll get, okay, that's,
You're saying that's your access?
That's the access to the Lot 9, yes.
Okay.
And
and
to my
eight-
knowledge, he's not gonna change it. Change the size of the lot. I mean, it's not gonna be re-subdivided at any point that I know of.
Any more questions for the petitioner? Brent, you good?
thank you, yes.
Again, any final questions? Thank you, sir. All right, we've heard from all the petitioner and the one who had opposition. I think there's no need to continue. Commissioner, before us, we have S 6625, Foster's Acres subdivision. We have a motion and a second. 3 variance requests, engineering has no issue.
Motion? Second.
Mr. Rumsey?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion approved.
All right, Commission, moving into our first companion case tonight. This is a resurvey of Lot 1, MI Harper number 2. This is a rezoning and a subdivision petition at 2100 and 2102 Fifth Avenue East. For the rezoning, they'd like to rezone from SFR1 to MR1, and for the subdivision, they're looking to create 5 single-family dwelling lots. This at, again, 2100 and 2102 Fifth Avenue East. It's about a .83 acre parcel. You can see we're just southwest of Midtown Village here. You can see that parcel today does have 2 existing structures on it. We're just north of that roundabout, you can see. And you can see it is SFR1. It's near some SFR3, single-family residential 3 to the north, and kind of east. We do have MFR touching as well, multifamily residential in the orange. For the petition, they'd like to rezone from SFR1 to MR1 to allow for more dense housing like adjacent lots to the south and east. You can see that property today. This is just 2 different angles showing the property. There are those existing structures here. And this is the access from 21st Street East from Fifth Avenue East as it exists today. Here are those proposed 5 lots. You can see those existing structures to be removed here. And here is the preliminary site plan. We received this after packets were posted. So this is your first time seeing this tonight. The lots vary in size from about 6,600 to 7,200 square feet. Getting into our analysis for the rezoning here, this area is identified as traditional neighborhood edge, TN2. This request does conform to the plan with that single family development here. You can see that identified.
Go back, sweetie, I didn't get, but it doesn't, the intended use, oh, it does conform, I'm sorry. Misread it, my bad.
All good. So you can see that is identified here as traditional neighborhood edge. Getting into our permitted uses, again, they're rezoning, asking to rezone to MR1. You can see those permitted uses highlighted in yellow and continuing onto this slide. Getting into the subdivision, so again, rezoning from SFR1 to MR1, and with that, now creating 5 single-family dwelling lots. So here again is that parcel, those 2 existing structures coming down to create those 5 lots. You can see here 15-foot minimum build lines on the front. And here's that plat without contours. And again, that site plan showing that access from 21st Street East. We do have 2 variance requests here. We received 2 public comments with concern. Do you have any questions for staff?
Bring back up the picture of 21st Avenue, please. That one. How wide is that road currently?
I'm not exactly sure, but I know it doesn't probably meet existing standards today. I think I don't even know if I'd give it 2 full.
I'm sorry, I can't hear that.
I don't think there's sufficient width for two lanes currently. And engineering would request that we do 2 10-foot lanes.
Pull back up those variance requests real quick. I know you had a question.
Engineering would request what?
That would put a minimum of 2 10-foot lanes on the entrance of that 21st Street.
Back to that drawing you had, you look at, see the 25-foot, that's a 25-foot dimension, so it's obviously less. Looks like it's about at least 15, something in that range, approximately.
Leota, can you show me the zoning map again, please? Okay, and I'm just now getting used to kind of the new initials and everything. Okay, so they're wanting to rezone their lot to MR1.
Correct.
All right, review me what MR1 is.
So MR1, it's mixed residential one, so there's kind of other options besides single-family residential you can do in that zone. Smaller lots as well with that zoning.
And MFR is?
Multifamily residential.
What's the difference in MFR and MR1?
Mr. Pons, can you jump in on the specifics?
Yes, so if you want to pull up the permitted uses, I can show.
Well, let me ask you this.
Also pull the
I'm
aerial.
assuming
Get an
that
aerial of
MR1 allows for more dense.
Yes, than what currently is today, which is SFR1. SFR1 only allows for a single-family detached home, and the minimum lot size is 12,000 square feet. But as you go up to SFR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then MR 1 and 2, you get smaller lots, and you get more allowance of different types of buildings. So you can have a duplex, a triplex. So you can see here, MR1 allows for a single-family detached home as well as a townhome or a duplex. So not quite as intense as MFR, which is right here. You can see that, I mean, that pretty much allows any type of, sorry, it was on the side. Right, but it goes all the way up to multifamily. So it's a lot denser of a zoning. And those MFR that you saw on the screen, those are already apartment complexes that exist today that have been there for quite a while.
All right, switch back to the zoning map just for 1 second. All right, just so I get this, what they're asking for, the MR1, they can get more units than they could if for instance, it was rezoned MFR.
Fewer.
Oh, okay, that's what I was.
They're gonna go from one house to like 6 or 8 townhomes. MFR, you build as many units as you get on.
Okay.
You can build up to 100, 200 acres.
Right.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Can you bring up the variance request again, please? I'm going to ask engineering on those two. I think there's two. Engineering, Brett, on these two.
Engineering would request that we, I guess in lieu of the half-street improvement waiver, that we require at least a minimum of 2 10-foot lanes on the frontage on 21st Street.
And the sidewalk?
Sidewalk, we're not aware of any plans to expand sidewalk adjacent to that property.
There's none there now.
None there now, and no known future improvements at this time.
Okay. Any final questions for staff?
Yes, so when we were talking about the width of the street, this variance, the half-street improvement variance, would that disregard the developer from having to make those improvements to the street?
Yes, but I think the petitioner can speak more on that. They're ready to answer y'all's concerns, I think.
Any other questions? Petitioner?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Chris Centel Engineering. We're willing to do half-street improvement on 21st and sidewalks. So we will remove the waiver request for those. So, and we're petitioning to do 5 lots.
Chris, I can't hear you. Lean closer.
I'm sorry, oh, that's loud. We are willing to do the half-street improvements on 21st Street East.
That was what the comment was about.
And sidewalks.
Okay.
I just texted the developer.
That addresses the concern we received.
The half-street, yeah, but the sidewalks, I mean, there's no sidewalks currently anywhere.
There's not, but I think one of the comments from public was that they requested us to do sidewalks. So I
On
communicated
Fifth-
with the
on
city
Fifth or
earlier.
21st, yes.
I would put the sidewalks on Fifth.
Commission sidewalks are required on both 21st Street East and Fifth Avenue East, so they would still need a variance from the sidewalks on 21st
Leo,
Street East.
What he's
Can-
at,
can
he's saying
you
he'll build it.
pull- I'm sorry.
Why ask for the variance if he's gonna build it?
No, he's saying he'll just do it on
Different street.
Fifth Avenue East, right?
I think sidewalks on Fifth Avenue East would be a good idea. I don't think sidewalks on
Your
21st
variance
East would be a good
request is
idea.
for 21st.
But I think the variance request would just need to be the sidewalks only for 21st Street.
So can you show us the map and show us the property that's zoned MFR that's to the, I guess it would be to the east? Okay, so, okay, now I'm lost. I thought, can you zoom out? I'm kind of lost where we are.
This is just north of Hargrove Road.
What's that complex across? He'll know about that complex.
Willowwick.
Willow.
Willow something.
Behind Arby's,
Right there in the roundabout.
Stephen, behind Arby's.
It's just
Yeah.
northwest of Dubose Terrace.
Midtown Village is right there. If you go through that roundabout and go this way, you can get to like Arby's and TCBY and things like that right there on McFarland.
Willowick used to have really bad drainage problems, Jimbo. You remember, were you here? Were you working?
Yeah, Joe Namath on Willowwick.
Is that a creek right there shown in blue? There's something that's,
Yes, I believe so.
Can we go back to the aerial, please, of the lot? So I guess my biggest concern, obviously, one of them was 21st Street, but the proximity of the adjacent neighbor there. And I need to understand that drive and what you're gonna do there adjacent to that neighbor right there in the back. If it's put 5, what are you doing?
5 single-family homes, 2-story,
Are
3
these,
bedrooms.
are these for lease, or are these?
No, they're for sale. They will be for
For sale.
sale, from what I understand. So but I can't answer that for
So, I
sure.
mean,
I mean, they're not being built to rent by my developer.
Show me what you're gonna do as a buffer there between that adjacent neighbor. I mean, if you're doing that work there, you're fixing to take out that natural buffer because of the proximity. You're either gonna do away with it or kill the trees, put the drive in.
Yeah,
What are you doing there?
We could put landscaping trees and
Huh?
we could put landscaping and a solid wood fence.
I know you can, but I wanna know what you are gonna do.
Well,
I mean, is this, is there gonna be access agreements with each? Is there a homeowners association in this? What is?
well, the city requested one drive, so we'll have to do an access agreement and a homeowners association. It'll have to be,
So yes and yes.
yeah.
Raven, is this neighborhood ready for this type?
You know, this is, it could be more denser, it could be more dense. So I would really like to hear the public comments on this particular agenda item. But I do want the variances to go away. I believe that we do need to widen the street, and we definitely need to have the sidewalks there, so.
This is like a kind of a nice little neighborhood down through there.
I've been out to this location recently, since this agenda item has come up, and I believe a lot of the houses there are student houses, some of them.
There's a lot of rental property.
Is there?
But it is a nice area. They're rental properties, but there are a lot of nice houses in other rental properties.
And the apartment complexes, are they?
This
Well kept.
particular project has been, these type houses are being built all over Forest Lake right now, so They're brick, two-story. They're nice houses, storm shelters.
These are two-story houses?
Yes.
Do you have anything that shows us what you're gonna put there?
I don't with me, no, but I
So I guess my issue here is you're asking us to approve something with, that's adjacent to an existing neighbor, very close proximity, without showing us what you're gonna do with the buffer zone, without showing us what you're gonna build. You're showing me a box that's 6,845 square feet. Is that the footprint, or is that with the second story?
The 6,800 square feet is the lot size. The houses
So what's
range,
the
the
house
houses
size?
between 1,500 and 2,000 square feet.
And it's two-story?
Yes.
Brick.
Yeah, well, the current product, we built some with hardy board, but most of them have been built with brick. I suggested brick on this one, that's what we're
How many
drawing.
bedrooms? Yeah, you got
3 bedrooms.
So then you gotta have, you can
We
park
can fit a
those.
4-bedroom unit on here if we needed to, but the request was for 3 bedrooms.
How are you gonna park 3 cars per unit?
The parking pad is 27 feet wide.
What?
It's 27 feet wide, that's 3 9-foot spaces, they're 22 foot deep.
What's the depth of that park?
22 feet.
22?
27 by 22?
Mhm. That's typical 9 by 20 is a parking space.
It's getting dense, and there definitely wouldn't be any abilities to do off-street parking. So the parking would have to be right. Also, the materials that are used for the building of the.
I think brick would fit the neighborhood very well.
About, trash, it would be individual
Garbage
cans.
carts, yeah, a dumpster,
The
Yeah.
garbage cart.
or,
And they're gonna pull them out there the 21st. And it's gonna be a rental property potentially. We're gonna have trash cans out on the road 7 days a week.
I mean, I think that area is leaning towards that direction, so I mean, I can't deny that.
leaning toward the direction of what?
Of
Trash-
rental properties, that's the majority of it. I mean, what we're putting in there, planning to put in there is a whole lot better than what's there now. The one of the houses there now is in such disrepair, it's just an eyesore.
Are you doing, you said you're doing half-street improvements on 21st or 5th?
21st Street,
So you're just widening that?
they said, he said that he wanted a 10-foot lane, and I texted the developer, and he said they would be willing to do that.
And then what is that driveway entrance gonna look like once you do 10 more feet to the left or whatever direction that is?
I mean, it would look the same, but just be short, a little bit shorter.
So that's okay to have it just shorter?
Yes, ma'am.
So the front of the houses, what's the front of the house and what's the back of the house?
The front of the house faces Fifth Avenue East, and the rear would face the back with rear access for the porch.
So you're parking to the rear?
Mm-hmm, yes, sir.
So I'll just say this again, I know you keep harping on the fact that there's a lot of rental properties, but I don't want us to create a situation that makes a situation worse. So, I don't want it to get more dense than what it is, what's being offered now, but I don't want us to create any more problems. So, when we're talking about the trash carts being out, versus having a dumpster, or, the half-streets improvements not being waived, those things are important. And then also, just because they're rental properties, the aesthetics of the building is still important, because whatever we do, we want to do something that's going to definitely add value to the community that's already existing.
Raven, one thing, over on the university campus plan, we put those chains and bollards to reestablish the front yards with grass, so people couldn't, because they can pull up into the front yard of this if we don't protect the yard.
Yeah.
Might be something that you require them to do.
Especially when you have
Something to
multiple
stop, if they have a party, so they don't just pull into the front yard.
Yeah, and I would like to see what you're going to build. I agree with Mr.
Well,
Harrison that it's hard to,
We can always come back and with a set of plans. Man, I got plenty of
that would
those.
satisfy, I would prefer that.
And I think, but I still want to hear what their concerns
I
would
said, we
be.
got a couple who have signed up. We ought to let them be able
Yes.
to speak, and you
I
can
would
hear what
love-
they have to say. That way, y'all can get together and.
If I came back, I would have the half-street improvements, the driveway, and the buffer, showing what we're gonna do in the rear. And if you want bollards or a picket-style fence in the front to limit parking
Decorative
off-street parking, I
bollards,
think
all
that
of
would be a
that.
good
So
idea.
you're gonna request a
That'd be great.
continuance.
I will, but I'd like to request for continuance.
Either way, they're gonna speak, so we
Yeah.
can, if you wanna request it now,
Sure.
we can go ahead and grant that.
Absolutely.
We are gonna let them speak, though.
Absolutely.
Okay, so he is requesting a continuance. So let's hear who wants to speak.
Mr. Chairman, first person signed up, Linda Parsons.
Good evening. I'm Linda Parsons. I'm at 2 Forest Lake Drive, and I'm here tonight representing the Forest Lake Neighborhood Association. I didn't come to discuss any of the things that you guys brought up. I enjoyed that conversation very much, though. Instead, what I want to do is remind you that a mere 7 months ago, the city established updated zoning for every property within its boundaries. That process spanned 5 years, and it involved residents from every corner of Tuscaloosa. All interested parties, including the petitioner, were invited to participate, and many did so. They did so individually or through groups like ours. Tuscaloosans attended meetings. They participated through comments on the framework page. They wrote their elected representatives and city staff, and they watched meetings from home. The final zoning map was approved by City Council in December, with individuals and representatives from many groups in attendance to celebrate. The understanding was that now that our zoning codes had been thoroughly debated and adopted, there would be little need for rezoning petitions. Our biggest concern for approving this request is that it invalidates the promise of the framework process and goes against the agreement for greater certainty reached among city staff, residents, builders groups, the Chamber of Commerce, this commission, and the City Council. Once property owners and developers learn that new zoning codes are malleable, I think you will see a rush of requests asking you to again violate the agreement that we all reached through careful, thoughtful, and a collaborative process. The existing zoning map for the Forest Lake neighborhood was enthusiastically endorsed by our neighborhood association. We appreciated the opportunity to play a role, to have our questions answered, and our concerns addressed. I fear that making random changes at the request of a single property owner sends the message that the input to the process doesn't matter, and the certainty that has been established will be gone. So we ask that you honor the work of thousands of our fellow residents, city staff, this council, and commission, and respect the resulting output that was recently approved by denying the position.
Thank you.
Well, I, for one, agree with Ms. Parsons. It'd put us out of a job, and we wouldn't have to be here tonight. Mr. Chairman, the second person that signed up is Lauren Drake. Lauren Drake?
Thank you. My name is Laurel Drake. I live at the property across the street from this property, across 21st Street East from that property. So I'm very acquainted with the property and what might happen. Although I listed myself as supporting it, I do support building houses there. I'm not sure I support building 5 houses there. Here's some of my concerns is I understand it's a 2-story, actually everything around there is, the houses are 1-story. The apartments to the south are 2-story, but they must be in a lower position because they don't seem very tall. So I do wonder what's the height of these buildings and how that's going to fit in the neighborhood. The driveway coming in through 21st Street East, I'm wondering how many parking places are there in there? If that's the only way, there must be at least 2 per unit. Would that be 10 cars or more coming in and out when we already have every house on 21st Street East? It's usually a rental, but that's not always the case. But they usually still have 2 or 3 cars per house. And it goes down and it kind of makes a little curlicue into a cove. So there's a lot of cars already on the street. Someone said it's better than what's there now. So actually, half the property looks green. It's got grass and trees on it. And another thing that concerns me is that this plan looks like it's going to put a lot of asphalt and concrete on half the lot and create a whole lot more runoff. And I'm not sure that it's been made to take it. Because even on my side of the street, across 21st Street East, that there's a ditch that takes water down to Fifth Avenue East to a sewer opening there. That's full when it rains. Never seen it climb up into my yard. It's been good. I don't want to see that change. I don't want to see more water. I don't want to see any water crossing 21st Street East. But still, that water goes to the same sewer that the water on my side goes to, and that really needs to be looked at carefully. And I hope that the builder would look at the many green ways to handle water that are in the 21st century now. That is permeable pavers. There's other ways to, permeable pavers allow water to seep in between the paving materials and be absorbed into the ground. When you cover your property with this, and it is more expensive, that means that the ground is going to take more of that water and it doesn't have to be run off. And there's a lot of cities that have invested in that type of thing, and it could be checked out of how well it worked in other places. I agree with some of the questions I've heard here, is that, does it have an HOA? Does, a lot of the questions have not been answered yet, of what exactly these houses are going to have, what are they going to look at, and I agree that it would be helpful to have better plans come, more planning, more pictures and details come to the council. And that's, and as far as sidewalk, I do favor the sidewalk on Fifth Avenue East. I think that would be a great addition to our neighborhood. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else care to speak for or against this petition before us tonight? Again, this is all informational because we are going to request a continuance. Having heard none. Commission, we have a continuance request by the petitioner for the case Z1725 and S6325. We hope that the petitioner will take the information back that you heard from us tonight, as well as maybe even meet with Ms. Drake. So she has some very good points. She's obviously a very interested landowner. That being said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Case continued.
All right, Commission, moving on to our next companion case. That's resurvey of Lot 2 and 3 TL Turner subdivision. Like the previous case, this is a rezoning and a subdivision request at 3910 Foster's Ferry Road. It's about 5.52 acres. They'd like to rezone from GC General Commercial to IL Light Industrial, as long as, in addition to, consolidating to one lot here at this location. So you can see we're kind of right by the intersection of Culver Road, Foster's Ferry, and Joe Malisham Parkway. You can see that lot today, it is vacant. There's 3 parcels being considered here tonight. And you can see those outlined here. They are zoned general commercial today. They're surrounded by some county land shown in gray, as well as some other general commercial land. The petition, they'd like to rezone from general commercial to light industrial to allow for a proposed tire sale business and a mechanic shop. Just looking at the preliminary plat here, you can see they're consolidating those 3 lots to put together a site plan like the one you can see here. And just zooming in, you can see kind of that preliminary site plan with a warehouse and a truck service area. In framework, this area is identified as corridor commercial. This request does conform with the plan. This is a commercial use they're proposing. Their zoning today does not allow that commercial use. So you can see here, it is corridor commercial, shown in red. Getting into our principal uses, starting with our industrial use table, you can see IL is highlighted in yellow. And like I said, they are asking for a commercial use, so I've also included the commercial use table here. Those permitted uses in IL are also highlighted in here. Moving on to the subdivision, so after rezoning, they'd also like to consolidate to one lot. You can see there's 3 parcels today on this site. Here's that plat with contours. They're just cleaning up those lot lines to create one large lot here. They do have a variance request for sidewalk construction. This is on Culver Road. They already have sidewalks here on Foster's Ferry. Do you have any questions for staff?
Engineering on the sidewalk construction on Culver.
We would like to request to deny that waiver and let us defer that to the final determination through the LDP.
Are they within a half mile of the park? Because that might be code. If you're
No,
within
they're
a half
not.
mile.
Oh, they are within half a mile of the park.
You said, what did
They
you
were-
say? They are?
They are. Palmore Park is right in
Palmer
this
Park,
area.
yes.
And Commissioner, I did forget to mention, we received 1 public comment in opposition to this request.
Okay, I have a question. The sidewalk variance, you said that's for Clover Road?
Yeah, so the request for the
Can you go back to the
variance-
map with the green map? Showing
Yeah,
the
let me,
overview, the current overview of it? That one, yes.
So they do have sidewalk here already. The map is just out of date. That's already constructed, so the variance is just for Culver Road.
So there may not be a half mile if you go all the way
Around the corner?
around.
They would be required sidewalks here because of the level of the street classification, regardless of if they're near a park or not.
Where is the ingress and egress for them accessing this lot?
They'll be accessing it from, they'll be accessing it from Foster's Ferry. AlDOT has not permitted an access off of Culver Road for this site.
Steve and Mike, we met, Vice Chair Mike asked us to give him some levity on the sidewalk variance, and so until the LDP wanted to further study it, so we just asked him, we would give him that opportunity.
So the way that would look, and y'all have done that in the past, is approving that sidewalk variance request so that they don't have to do it to record that final plat to make it all one lot. But then when they develop the lot, we could require
We would handle it
sidewalks
on
at
the
that point.
LDP approval.
Yes, sir.
That's fine.
Any other questions for staff? Petitioner.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Michael McGuire, McGuire and Associates, 2615 Gary Fitt Street. This is, she pretty much covered everything, really not much for me to add. We are going to have it on city sewer, city water. There will not be an entrance on Culver Road at this point in time. And we did talk with the state. Basically, they said that the city, as far as the sidewalks were concerned, you know, had the authority to waive that if we asked them to. And, you know, if Culver Road is improved, I mean, that's my understanding, they have some talks about improving the road, widening the road. I mean, if we put sidewalks in, they're just going to get torn right back out. So really, my opinion doesn't make much sense right now. But if y'all got any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer them.
Mike, what are you showing on that dotted line toward Highway 11?
Basically a detention
That can
pond,
be
with,
detention.
yeah, but it's a little bit further closer to the parking lot. And it's not gonna, it's shallow, it's not gonna be very pronounced.
I'm assuming, what's normal hours of operation here?
I'm assuming daytime, just daytime hours?
Not running night shift service.
FedEx is.
For normal business hours?
State for the record, the business hours, this might could generally tell us which days of the week and roughly business operating hours.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Name and address for the record, please.
My name's Brad Wyatt, address 15573 Highway 69 North, Northport, Alabama. Hours of operation are more or less going to be 7 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. I mean 5:30 p.m., I'm sorry. But basically daylight hours. We won't be working out of there at night, so pretty much,
How many days?
I guess that's it. Maybe 7 days a week. I know 6 days a week.
But this is an
We may
area-
open for a half a day on Sunday. We may open at lunch on Sunday. I don't know. But that's about it. Anything? Any other questions?
We got some folks that have signed up
Okay.
that might bring you back up. So any other questions for the petitioner before we do that? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, first person signed up is Lisa Young.
Good evening to the Planning and Zoning Commission. My name is Lisa Young, and I stand in strong opposition to the proposed rezoning of the 5.25 acres off of Foster Ferry Road from general commercial to light industrial. This area is nestled in the heart of several residential communities. One that is predominantly Black, deeply rooted, and already disproportionately burdened by the industrial expansion. Turn this land into an extension of the industrial park further isolates these neighborhoods and residents from the kind of developments that truly improve the quality of life. What this community needs is not more warehouses or factories, but access to healthy foods, to small businesses, to the kind of commercial investments that support families and build futures. A grocery store, for example, would better serve the residents who currently live in this area, whereas the light industrial zoning will bring additional noise, traffic, and pollution. This isn't just about zoning, it's about equity. This kind of rezoning would never be proposed in residential neighborhoods in your more affluent neighborhoods. I urge the commission to deny this request and to instead prioritize developments that reflect the needs for dignity of the people who live there. The residents who live near Foster Ferry Road deserve better planning, better access, and better investments. And I do want to speak more on the pollution. That area has a park that is right up the road from there. There are several neighborhoods and developments there. And I'm wondering if there's been any type of study about the noise and the pollution that would impact those residents that live in that area. And another concern is, I know that this area can be kind of swampy at times. What would this proposed development or further expansion of this into an industrial area, what kind of flooding would those residents be impacted with? And those are the things that I would urge you to consider before considering this expansion.
Ms. Young, we didn't get your address. Will you state your address for the record, please?
It's 6170 Lob Lolly Lane, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 35405. However, I do own property on the western cluster of Tuscaloosa as well.
Any questions for Ms. Young?
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's the only person signed up to speak. Would anyone care to speak for or against? If you want to, please come forward. You got
75 feet, so that's about the length of the tractor trailer. Must be going to be.
Good evening. I'm LaShonda Lockett. I'm actually a resident of 3517 8th Street. I'm within District 1 area, but most of my life I grew up at 6504 36th Street, which is the Royal Pine area. I have family in Wesley Estate area. So between Wesley Estate and Royal Pine, I frequent that area. Right now, there's a lot of heavy traffic, obviously, within Joe Mellichan Parkway and Highway 11. As you're aware, currently there's FedEx, there's a couple of asphalt companies, BF Goodrich, but Budweiser, 18-wheeler traffic that come through there. And I've requested traffic studies before. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work in my favor as I'm visibly seeing there are a lot of concerns with the traffic that flow through Joe Melisham Parkway as we see it now. Even Pico uses Joe Melisham Parkway. The trucks go back and forth. So there is a lot of concern in that. I know we've done a lot of work. I've actually sat on framework as much as I could to gain the knowledge that I need to know how the zoning was approved and what was approved at that time. So I know we put a lot of time. I know I put a lot of time during the day using my lunch hour, extending my lunch hour, trying to gain an understanding of zoning because I was clueless. But I think that based on the time that I utilize, I don't want that to be in vain. When we go through as citizens, we go through this process, and as Mrs. Porter stated, it was approved, and now we have to come back and ask and basically beg that you guys not approve certain zoning that has already been in place. So I have a great concern for the safety of those who travel between Wesley Estate and Royal Pine. So I speak on behalf of, again, those residents who live within that area, and I stand opposed to it. I mean, I don't oppose any business that's trying to have growth or progress. But I do, if you guys know I come up here, the first thing I say, I speak in regards to safety, and that's a big concern for me. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Brenda Irvin. I live in Wesley Estates. I come and travel down Highway 11 every day. The traffic is horrific. Right now, we have a new building that's going to be built right up by Greenview. That we do nothing about it. It's as if we don't matter, that we are invisible. I want you to know, I don't mind someone building something, but I don't want to change from commercial to the district, what they want. We don't need it. Thank you.
Ma'am. Got one final spot if anyone wants to speak. All right, I'll ask the petitioner, you want to come back up and address any of those concerns that you heard, or?
Well, I'm sure Culver Road is traveled, and Joe Malisham is as well. Foster's Ferry Road was recently improved. It's got basically a middle turn lane in the center of it, 2 lanes one going east-west, and we are not accessing, or we're not going to add any traffic to 11 unless they make that loop back around. As far as the zoning is concerned, currently zoned general commercial. The only reason that we're having to go to light industrial was basically, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, was just the fact that we're going to serve trucks. A tire store would be allowed other than the fact that it's, we got, I guess, heavy trucks. And if y'all got any other questions, I think we've addressed everything else. As far as the runoff goes, things of that nature, we'll have a detention pond, so pre and post runoff will be the same.
I'd like to add a couple things too.
This is in the city currently.
Also, we want to be an asset to the community as much as we can. We're gonna offer a lot of jobs right here. We're looking to probably employ close to 40 people when we're full-fledged running. We'll hit the ground with at least 20 employees, and we're gonna hire all local guys right here. So, this is gonna be a brand-new facility, one of the nicer ones to service. We'll do anything from small golf cart tires to the biggest you can get. Obviously, a privacy fence around the sides of the building that's whatever the city recommends, we don't want to be this is gonna be, you know, like I said, it's gonna be a state-of-the-art type facility here. I mean, the facade, everything down through there, it's gonna look good, so, but we also, you know, we wanna add jobs and obviously, you know, we wanna help improve the community there too, so. Y'all have any more questions that I can answer?
The dotted bays, let's see, where's the direct?
That's basically an awning off the side of the building right there. In case a big truck wants to come in, there'll be a lot of, I mean, this is any size vehicle. We'll be able, there's, and I don't know if we have a set of drawings that shows the exterior facade that we're proposing, but it's basically, it'll have a bay or two there if a regular car comes in. But if a big truck needs to get in, they can loop around, and there's plenty of room there. They can pull in, get what they need done. So
But the
that's what that
dotted,
is.
the
It's basically
dotted
an awning.
rectangle that's separate and apart, it looks like from the building.
Where are you talking?
No.
Right here, you know, they're like 1, 2, 3, yes, yes.
Truck parking.
That's basically a gravel parking area back there. That's just, I think we're gonna leave a lot of that back there undisturbed, if I'm mistaken. I think that's trees and stuff. Or maybe that's a lot right there, so we'll leave a border there, but there won't be anything there. So, well, that could be, we may,
So it's right here.
well, it could be, it's gonna be gravel, but there could be, if we needed to park a truck there, a service truck or something, we could leave it parked there.
Any other questions for petitioner? Final request.
So, you can't,
I wish I-
that's the closest point of those houses. There's no way to put that over here to, I'm looking at my phone, I'm trying to figure out how not to impact this home. I mean, you got a home to, I don't know, north, south, east, west, you got, it's like you got a house in the rear, you got a house.
We got it.
There won't be trucks parking there overnight. If basically, that's gonna more or less be like a turnaround area if it's anything. So we're not, this won't be like a truck stop where trucks are staying there idling, parking.
Against the trucks up running into that, they are. This is a street that become industrial in nature, and at the same time, we have neighbors in this surrounding city asking for rezoning. Sorry, Kevin. I don't know, it's just kind of, to the lady's point, I mean, if there were land in the city and I lived behind it, I don't know, I mean, it's tough because the street's going industrial. I mean, we've got Federal Express that's running trucks up and down the road all day and all night. And then you've got Brian Harden down there, and you've got PNS Trucking, you've got Mid-States Asphalt, you've got, I mean, so, but there's no getting around that. I think she said is it Greenview. I mean, the neighborhood does come in right in there behind it. You know, so you know, it just if you've got the land, it just seems like backing trucks up into that. I don't know. It seems like you've got a lot of land. If you're going to have to fill it, you might want to put the truck somewhere else other than backing up to those neighbors. I don't know. That's just an observation. Does anybody else feel that way? I mean, I hate to do anything that.
I would just like to say, I have a question, not for the petitioner, but for staff, so I can wait if I need to.
Go ahead.
Well, my question is, Mr. Pons, can you remind me of what is the difference between the zoning, general commercial and light industrial? Or
Is it general or corridor?
This one is general commercial, but the future land use character type is corridor. So you're partially right on that too. So yeah, light industrial, you can see those types of uses there. Actually, you can see both. So general commercial is going to be more lower intense commercial uses. Light industrial allows for some more intense.
What is there, another table along with this?
Oh, there you go. This is a good
Change,
example
okay,
of
okay, yeah, that's it.
the
that's it.
differences.
Okay.
That's, yeah, that's more of the differences. So, yep, warehouses, warehouse sales. Okay, all of that is in light industrial. So my thing is that this area, growing up in West Tuscaloosa, and an issue that I have in my district currently that I'm trying to deter and fight against, and unfortunately I can't because some businesses are just grandfathered in. There is a lot of light industrial. This location that we're talking about rezoning tonight is less than half a mile from a park. And I don't want to see more light industrial in my community. I believe that this property, we need development. We need great development. To have economic development in my community is an asset. It'll be able to bring jobs to my community and service all of Tuscaloosa. But to have light industrial, I can't support that because this is an area, when you go down Highway 11, you have so many industrial businesses already, and to have that come into this community, I don't believe this the type of assets that we're looking for. Also, we have another development that's coming that's going to, and I know that there's no entrance to this business from Highway 11, but still I believe that there's a lot that's going on in this area, and I really believe that we can do something different in this particular location more than just light industrial. So I believe that there's a lot going on in West Tuscaloosa between, this is in District 1, but between Foster's Ferry Road, Highway 11, 25th Street, near Elizabeth Baptist. There's a lot of light industrial businesses that are right on top of, in the backyards of neighborhoods and residences and playgrounds and parks and daycares and churches. And so this is, even though it's light industrial, this is a lot to consider and to deal with when you live in this community and you walk the streets of this community and you have, families that are in this community. So those are my thoughts. This is a big difference for people that live here when you're going from general commercial to light industrial. So those are my comments.
What use is it? I mean, I know you're gonna have a warehouse, and you can, okay, both of them I thought you could have a warehouse.
Right, so heavy vehicle repair,
Okay, that's on this next sheet. Okay, sorry, I got you. Okay.
No, just with light industrial.
Okay.
And that's the difference in the zoning, right?
right, yeah, you'd have to, it's not allowed in GC, so GC is here. So you'd have to rezone to HC, IL, or IG in order to do heavy vehicle repair at this location.
I mean, yeah, what's interesting about a light vehicle could be done there.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's heavy, and a lot of times we talk about when we rezone things, we don't know, when we rezone, we don't know what it's gonna be. In this case, we know exactly what it's gonna be. I think it's being penalized because it's heavy truck repair and as opposed to just being light, which you'd have to do by right.
Yeah, I was unaware. I thought commercial was, I didn't know there were light industrial.
Seems
You
odd
have
that-
industrial, but light industrial.
Seems odd that a truck repair would be industrial.
It's not really, I mean, it's changing tires on trucks. I mean,
And you're gonna render the two properties, you're gonna run out two people, and then, but you can't do anything about the fact there's 20 houses within about 100 yards that are lining up on that. And it may become inevitable, but it just seems like you're damaging someone unnecessarily, unfortunately. I mean, if the commercial business does not, look, I know what trucks riding around in a parking lot looks like, and it's gonna wreak havoc on the adjoining, on the people that are living on the lots next to it.
I agree.
The street's becoming industrial, but there's still residents that live there, and there's zoning in place. I mean, and to change the zoning that would put a truck within X number of feet of these homes is difficult to do. I mean, I just know, it doesn't matter what Lisa said, she talked about black and white. It doesn't matter what color you are. If you live next door to a truck where trucks are running in your backyard, I mean, it's just, there's bound to be somewhere that you can have this business that you don't have to back up. Look, I'm assuming that you drew those parking spaces back there for those trucks because you plan on changing a lot of truck tires. I mean,
Well, we only have one place to change, it's right there next to the building.
I mean,
And I don't know how many feet that is from the next house to the one that would be right next door. But that awning right there is where the work would be being performed, everything right there, back there in those areas. There's not gonna be, we wouldn't be able to do anything out there anyway.
so they're gonna turn right and go down the right side of your property, take a left, and then they're gonna back into that.
Well, they could come in either way, but I mean, it just makes it a lot safer to have two entrances. So if they can come in either way and be able to get around.
Excuse me.
I'm just saying that I'm looking at, all right, so what I'm looking at is what's giving me some heartburn is there's somebody named, all right, so somebody named Amelia Sherrill has got a house to the east, I guess, and then there's Wanda R. Prude that has a house, is it to the north? And those are both residences. And then to the northeast slightly, you've got 34th Place that's got a bunch of houses. And look, it doesn't matter whether it's 5 o'clock or 7 p.m. or whatever. When you start driving trucks around that building, it's gonna change the quality of life for Wanda Prude and Amelia Sherrill. I'm just saying that's an overt act on our part. I mean, look, they may sell next week, and if they sold next week, it would be a whole different ballgame because you wouldn't be doing anything to hurt them.
I don't know.
Roger Taylor's got a spot right down the street.
If I can, I'm sorry, if I could interrupt you. That we focused a lot on the negative aspects of this, and I think that's appropriate, but I can also see as a general commercial property now, it could really, there could be something there that really contributes to the neighborhood, not just something that doesn't detract from it, but that really does bring the right kind of development and serves those neighborhoods as opposed to just not having a negative impact.
Did we rezone it during
I don't know.
framework? Did we zone that corner general commercial during framework, or was it
What
already?
was it before? I don't know.
We did.
It used to be business, BH, highway-related commercial.
And that would have allowed.
So we've improved the zoning and now kind of asking to take a step back, in my opinion.
You know, before we had framework, we also had the consultants that talked about the revitalization of West End.
That's right.
And I wonder if framework took some of those findings into consideration when they came up with their recommendations. I'm probably wrong, but this looks really familiar to me. Have we talked about, did somebody else months ago propose a rezoning here that we turned down?
No.
Did we have something else on Culver Road, like in the last 6 months?
We did have a rezoning request on Culver Road. It was a funeral home, I believe.
The monument.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's around the corner and up the street. Yeah.
The only other one on this property was in 2000.
Can you show us an overall zoning map of all the adjacent property? Have that?
Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit to pull up.
While that's pulling up, does anyone else have any other questions for staff?
So across the street, that's LLC, is that literal?
one's that?
Don't know.
Across Culver?
We did a lot on Joe Mountain.
Across
Yeah,
Foster's
still on
Ferry.
That-
This is short, right across the street from this.
Further down to
Further
Joe Mountain
down,
was IL. Yeah.
Oh.
And what is that zone, the LLC property? It's across the street because it could, you know, if it's zoned a certain way, it could all be moot, you know, if it's a trucking facility. Does that make sense? In other words, this property that runs down Malisham and fronts on Foster's Ferry, the one, you see the one I'm talking about? The one that looks like it's, on your aerial, looks like it's been scalped.
What is,
Oh, that's outside of city limits.
That's in the
Okay.
county.
yeah, what's purple? The purple is. the
Purple is
industrial.
IL, that's what
IL.
they're requesting to
And then
to
the
change.
green is the park.
That's Pelmore Park, open
Belmont
space.
Park. And so Foster's Ferry, down Foster's Ferry is all IL, and down Joe Malison's IL.
And Roger, is yours in the county?
Can I speak?
Sure.
Well, the yellow is residential on Foster's, right?
Yes, SFR2.
Name and address the record, please.
I'm Roger Taylor with Hall Taylor Construction. I'm located at 4703 Foster's Industrial Lane. So I know a good bit about this property over here. I built my business there. I like it there. Most of this is going industrial. Across the street from this property right here, there's a large tract. Did they ever tell you what it was owned?
It's in the county.
In the county. County, it's not zoned.
It's in the county? See, okay. So they can pretty much do what they want to there, because the zoning don't apply.
But it doesn't back up to houses.
Sir?
It doesn't back up to homes, Roger.
That's right. And then the property to the east of this, I've talked with the gentleman that owns it. He's tickled about this facility coming there. Now, the property to the east of him, I own, and it is in the county.
Yeah.
So, I think it's good for the community. I think it's gonna brighten it up. The only reason we were told that we had to go with this particular zoning was the difference in probably 12 inches of a tire. You know, a transfer truck tire compared to my F-250 Ford is probably about 10 or 11 inches, which is the only difference that triggered us from coming to y'all as a waiver instead of coming to you is rezoning. Is this correct?
So your heavy industrial, which I think, I'm gonna pull up the definition here, but off the top of my head, I think it's any vehicle any vehicle over 8,500 pounds, I think, gets you into that category versus the light vehicle.
But you got FedEx just down the road to the east of us. You got Warner Trucking down the road to the east of FedEx. I also own the property right across the road from FedEx, and it was recently rezoned to, can you tell us what that zoning was?
Sorry, what was the question?
The property that we rezoned right across from FedEx. It was residential. We went to commercial.
Yeah. Is it this one here?
That's it.
So that one's light industrial.
So it's light industrial too.
There's no question the street has got a lot of industrial uses on it.
Right.
And it looks like the houses that are being impacted by this potential rezoning are in the county. Now, you say that one of them would be thrilled about it. I assume they
Yeah,
could.
the one to the east of us, I've spoke with him, and he thinks this would be great. And we can also get that letter from him stating that.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
Because I think he would love to sell his property as industrial too.
you understand my heartburn? I mean, I'm just saying if I lived there, that the city's got a zoning in place and look, I know what tractor trailers do. I mean, it's not so much about the size of the tire, Roger, it's about the turning radius and the They're gonna be up in there. He's gonna do a lot of business.
And we're talking about maybe 3 or 4 transfer trucks a day coming in this facility where you got probably 30 or 40 of them that sits right down to the road to the east.
Yeah,
And you got hundreds of them at FedEx, so, and we're closer to the intersection to get in and out.
It seems inevitable. It's just,
Yeah.
Mr. Taylor, you said you own, you say you own one of those houses?
Sir?
Do you own one of the houses?
The property just to the east of this that we're trying to get rezoned, I do not own that house. I own the property to the east of it, right there.
the forested looking.
It's showing up as a wooded track right now, but it's actually a cleared track. And it's in the county.
And
Are you in the floodplain?
No, sir. And this is not either. And we're, in my office, which is 4703 Foster's Industrial Road, it's not in a flood area either.
Is there any way that you can keep those trucks to the west, keep them as far away from that neighborhood? I mean, you got all the land in the world. Why can't you put the trucks over here closer to Culver rather than backing them where everybody?
We can put them on the west side.
I mean, I'm just saying, is that Greenview, Lisa? Is that called Greenview? Leota? I mean, is that Greenview?
I don't think that's
Greenview
Greenview. I
is
think all that you're talking about is
Greenview is a little farther down. The closest neighborhoods,
What's this neighborhood called?
Wesley Estates, and then Virginia Circle, then
I'm just saying,
Greenview.
if you live on that, I'm
I
just saying
said,
that.
yeah, that's
I'm just saying that when you back those trucks up into that back corner, you're not 30 yards, you're not 30 yards from the neighborhood. I'm just saying, that you move the truck parking over here on the other side, you know, you got trucks running up and down Culver Road all day long, it's the same. The noise is the same. But when you start backing them up, you're backing them up into the backyard of Wesley Estates. I would just move the truck parking and, you know, and then you're not doing anything to overtly hurt those neighbors.
And I think because Culver Road is overloaded is why they don't want to stand it. And I know Mr. Harrison them's building a facility just to the north, and I believe it's got over 200 parking spaces.
Yeah, the state just
So
doesn't
we're
like-
fixing to really put some cars on Culver.
The state does not like to give ingress egress.
Yeah.
But you follow what I'm saying, Tim, about where the trucks in?
Yeah, I mean,
Because, you know, they sit there and crank while they're working on the tires. I mean, they're just, you know,
that would help if you'd be willing to swap your parking. You swap
We
your
will.
detention.
We can do that.
Detention based, I
Yep.
don't know how your drainage works out. Maybe you can do some of that.
We'll fix it to where they'll come in on the west and
Because
leave
noise travel.
in that direction. I think the overall project is gonna be really good for the neighborhood. It's been sitting there like that for many, many years. And, I think this right here will spur some future growth.
Mr. Taylor, I have a question. So I'm not a automotive guy at all, but I have a general question. Between, and this may be for staff as well, light, industrial, and heavy, what's the noise difference in those two?
I don't think we
Or is there?
specify, yeah.
Is
It's
there?
just the uses would basically deter the noise from being loud if it was light industrial versus heavy industrial. The types of uses would determine that.
I mean, because you're talking about the same machinery, right, basically?
Same thing.
Right. I'm just trying to see, because right now, the way it's zoned, it could be light.
You could have a store and they could have 50 deliveries, and it would be worse than the trucks getting their tires fixed. I got it.
I'm just trying to.
I'm trying to work
I'm just
through it
trying
in
to,
my head.
because it sounds like
And
the,
if you could put a grocery store, and they could take more deliveries than trucks he would have in there changing their tires.
because ideally.
But the neighborhood would get something out of that.
Correct. Ideally, we want, I guess at the end of the day,
Right.
we want a better commercial space there for development,
I
basically.
can promise you, the noise level here is gonna be much less than at FedEx, because they dropping and banging and carrying on 24 hours a day. So all that's gonna be good.
But you know the thing with FedEx, isn't FedEx in the county? We brought it in the city?
I think FedEx is over in this
According to that
area.
right there is in the city.
Okay, that's FedEx right there?
I think so.
Well, I mean, your plans have some good things about them.
Yeah, and it-
What bothers me as I sit here and have to weigh, progress, commercial progress, city revenue, et cetera, on this side, with keeping the quality of life of the neighbors intact. And yes, things have gotten industrial over the years. Where do we stop? One problem is that, like a house, a home, the majority of people, that is their major investment. They don't have businesses. They don't own land, other places that they can develop. This is their major development. They don't want to leave if it becomes too noisy because they're established there. Some of them may not be able to afford to leave because they can't sell their house. And I feel that I have to definitely consider that part of the population. And this area is, I mean, it's unique in a way because, in my opinion, we had the industrial park somewhere over there, and I guess we've outgrown that, and so there are other, industries or commercial ventures need other places to put their business, but
How many employees are there?
They're gonna start out with 20, and it'll probably grow to 30 or 40.
Do you have to have sewer on this?
Sanitary sewer? Yes, sir. And we're working with the county and the city with that. It doesn't seem to be an issue. But the residential houses that's close to this property here that actually go up and down Foster Ferry Road is a pretty good piece back to the east.
I'm just looking at the neighborhood on this drawing.
It's all the way back past that purple you see. That's where you get into the first residential houses.
But I mean, you got,
That one house beside us is pretty much it for a ways.
well, you've got a neighborhood
Oh, you got the neighborhood
right across
behind
the,
I mean, they're behind it, but they don't travel Foster Ferry Road to get in and out of their house.
well, we're talking about quality of life and having trucks in their backyard.
Yeah.
We're not talking about, I don't think they care about the dodging trucks with their cars, and they might.
And also to the south of FedEx, you've got a large crane facility that they running up and down that road daily, and they're some of the largest cranes known to man. So,
But we're adding to that. So, I mean, when you say there's already a lot out there,
Yeah.
that doesn't persuade me because, that's enough.
We're putting a lot on top of it.
I understand.
Yeah, what is the blue, Zach? The blue color? What?
That is, I think it's public or semi-public, but that's essentially, Mr. Harrison's development up there, DCH, I think is
What?
what, sorry.
DHR.
DHR, sorry.
oh, yeah.
So I just want to say, when you look at the yellow part, which is SFR2, right? SFR1, and then you see the blue development, and then you come down and we have the proposed development that we're talking about now. That's a lot of unwanted development around surrounding neighborhoods that are well-established, that are in a community that's already surrounded by light industrial. So I just wanted to say that.
And you can't own the property that you own that's in the county because you need sewer.
Ma'am,
The property that you own, the cleared property that's on the.
That's showing up as
that's
wooded
out of-
area.
I can't see the direction, I'm sorry.
Your parcel to the east of this.
To the
it is
east,
not connected to sanitary sewer today.
right. But it's in the county,
Yes, ma'am.
so like you said, you could do whatever you want to do
You
out
could.
there. But you would need to bring it into the city to connect to the sanitary sewer.
That's correct.
And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
then you'd be subject to the same things you're subject to for your property across the street.
Right. That's right.
Feel like we've got a pretty good gauge of
right.
everybody's.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guess it's
Doggone
time.
good thing the Good Shepherd Baptist Church.
I'm about to say, I think we probably all pretty much voiced our thoughts and opinions, unless you want to add something, but I think we can kind of come to a voting point on this case unless somebody wants to add or.
Can you go back, keep the drawing up?
Go back to the drawing, the footprint of the drawing. You know, one thing, I guess, on one hand, I understand the housing issues. Mr. Tate does bring up a good point, the potential for these neighbors to sell at a higher rate is open to them. You know, we all want to try to help West End put businesses down there. We're not seeing many businesses moving down there. I'd like to put that out there. The likelihood of a grocery store going on in this corner is probably not there, I don't think. So, I mean, an opportunity to get a growing business is here. I do understand the concerns of the neighbors, so it's just my 2 cents.
Michael, is there any possible way to put this retaining pond where the truck parking is and put the truck parking where the retaining pond is? I don't know where your topo is, but it makes all the difference in the quality of life right there in that corner.
I mean, yeah, well, I mean, we just have to look at it. I mean, it's got a good bit of fall across it. It's kind of a little misleading when you ride by there, but I mean, there's no big ditch we can drain to or that's got a lot of relief as far as elevation goes. We just have to look at it. I mean, I'm sure we could tweak it and twist it and make something work. We just have to look at it.
To me, there's a lot of trucks at that intersection, so you're not really doing anything different. But when you start backing them into that corner back there, you're getting them awfully close to that Wesley Estates. And I'm just saying that you got the land. If there's any way, if you can dig your hole back there and make the water go there, put the trucks over here to the west, it makes a big difference to the city residents in Wesley. The other parcels are in the county.
So as far as, as far as the subdivision goes, we're just removing lot lines. That doesn't sound like that's an issue at all. It's the zoning that we're trying to address. And you know, when you look up and down, and I'm sure if you look at the zoning map going further to the north, you're gonna have all on Joe Malisham's either gonna be in the county or it's gonna be light industrial. And I certainly understand where Ms. Howard's going with this as well. But, you know, we can probably twist it, move it. Of course, that's up to my client, but if he allows us to do something, we could probably make it and push it and maybe potentially get it a little further away from the houses. But of course, that would be up to them.
But you can't build a mound system and can you get a mound system, get the 20 people to use a mound system? If so, you don't even have to ask.
Could you? Well, it's in the city now. Are you just saying if something was in the county or?
I'm saying that you gotta have this zoning,
Yeah,
but if you don't,
It's already in the city.
yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of flow for 20 people. You could put it on a septic system if you had to, but that's not an option here, not necessary either.
And the one thing I'll add on what Mr. Harrison said is that, you know, that's a new type of development in this area. Sure, it says industrial, but in reality, it's more general commercial, just being gauged different because of the size of the vehicle. You know, we talk about growth and development, and this area's definitely had a lot of activity the last 10 or 15 years. You know, I look at that corner there at Culver and Joe Malisham. I'm going like, you know, those corners there are in pretty bad shape. And this, I look at it from the standpoint, could it help spur redevelopment in that area? Because you are having people there, more people working there, more people need to go out and have lunch and other activities that could spur economic growth. So, I mean, that's, you know, I get the neighborhood thing. I totally understand that. I agree with that. However, again, to see new types of industries and businesses developing in this area, we've seen it happen. Look what's, I mean, that's probably why we're here today, because we've seen so much growth out here of industry and businesses. And that's all, I think, very positive from redevelopment side, but also from the revenue side for the city. Here's a revenue generating business. I think in theory, more could come. So.
Can you flip the footprint?
I'm sorry?
Can you flip the footprint? I mean, that way, when your truck's in the bay, it's more natural for them to come out over here to the west.
I mean, I'm sure there's options we can, again, that's up to my client, but I'm sure there's options that we could do. I mean, you have to stop and think, if you think about what they're gonna serve, probably most of them are gonna be passenger to mid-sized vehicles and then the trucks as well. But a truck coming in, most of them are gonna come in from the interstate or down Joe Malisham. They're gonna turn up Foster's Ferry Road, and they're gonna come back out, go back to the interstate or back up Joe Malisham.
Michael, here's the $10,000 question. It sounds like there's a desire to try to rework the property.
Okay.
But there's also some concerns. You know, I guess my question is, do you want to vote or do you want to ask for a continuance?
So.
I think we've exhausted
I think we've exhausted it. We got to make this decision on.
I'm just, yeah, because first of all, I don't think we can tell him what his hours are. I mean, we can ask him what his hours are, but if he wants to run, I mean, if he's going to catch trucks off the interstate, he's going to run when trucks are off the interstate.
Well, he's requesting to vote as is.
Okay.
Well, I would just
Correct.
like to say that there's a lot going on Highway 11 now, but there's a lot of potential in West Tuscaloosa. And so I hope that before we make this vote, I hope that we all consider the possibilities of economic growth in this area that is more desirable to the community, especially to the neighborhoods on Highway 11. So I hope that this type of development does not hinder or stop that type of development coming, because there is interest. There's a lot of interest in this part of town. There is interest, and there's a lot of possibilities for that type of development that the community is looking for. So that's all I have to say.
Michael, let me ask, before we vote, let me ask you a couple of questions. I mean, I think we're hung up on trucks. I think we're hung up on what percentage of business is trucks versus normal, big trucks versus normal work trucks, cars, golf carts, as you say. What?
Yep.
5-8% is your large trucks. And so the other 90% is gonna be light traffic duty trucks.
We'll have a couple of service trucks that go out and work on big tractors and different things.
And you'll do
that you
them
can't-
at their own lot.
Yeah, that's probably why it's listed as a warehouse. So we may take something out of there and we go, if we have to go out of town or go.
So you're not gonna have 30 trucks in there waiting to change.
No.
You're gonna have, how many trucks? will you
That'd be a
have?
lot of flat tires on. No, there won't.
8,
that won't
10 trucks a day at the most?
Well, that would be good, but that wouldn't be uncommon, I wouldn't think.
So,
Depending on, if there's some at the gas station, I know some park at the gas station,
yeah.
if they.
So
need to
I
come
think
over.
what we heard was it's fixing to be a transfer tractor trailer truck center that's gonna service tractor trailer trucks, and that's not correct.
No,
Your service
it'll be
trucks will
more
go
than that.
out on site
Yeah,
and do that.
it has the capability to do that.
So, and obviously the commission has angst with regards to the adjacent property. And what I would say, I think that I would personally hate losing a business in this community that's potentially gonna employ 40 people, that, I'm just under a misconception, this is gonna be a totally suck service. So,
Look, my whole problem is, he's got 8 truck parks within 30 yards of the neighborhood, when we could move them over here to the west. I mean, if I lived there, I'd be just absolutely royally PO, okay? I'm saying that if the dirt's all the same, park them to the west, you're not gonna get a complaint out of me. But when you tuck them into the corner closest to the city neighbors, it's an issue. We've got, hell, it looks like we got, I don't know how many acres we got, but a bunch of raw land here, and there's a bunch of turning radius. Unless the soil's just so bad over here that you can't this over here. I mean,
Mr. Chairman, I think we're really plowing the same
Yeah, I
ground.
think we are.
Can we?
Petitioners will call for a vote, so let's tee it up.
Yeah, I just want to be clear, though, too, that there's two votes here. One is a recommendation to council for the rezoning, and then the other one is the subdivision. So
Right.
both of them could be different votes, a yes and a no, or, you know.
We want to do the
So I have a question
subdivision
too.
first then.
Was this, we were discussing this for so long, but was this the agenda item with the variance for the sidewalks? And we said we needed to wait until, so we do need to give a variance?
So the subdivision is the one that would have that variance request,
Okay.
yes.
And so we will state on
And-
the record that variance will be.
That OC would deal with that variance request, or would deal with the
Land development
sidewalks
permit process.
at the time of the LDP.
Right. So is everyone clear on that? That will be addressed at the LDP
So you would be
level?
approving as presented if you were to approve it
Yes.
with
So-
that condition.
All right, folks, let's take this subdivision first. Commission before us, we have S 6425. With one variance request, sidewalks construction, which we just discussed, will be covered at the LDP process, with the Department of Engineering. We have a motion and a second.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Hornsby?
Yes.
No.
No.
yes.
This is the subdivision.
Subdivision.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Subdivision.
I'm sorry.
yeah. This
Yes.
is
Yeah,
the
this is not the
subdivision.
rezoning.
Yes.
I think we should restart from the beginning. of
Okay.
the-
Sorry.
So,
I have another question too, I'm sorry. Concerning the LDP process, so that means that if this did pass, then, I mean, do we need to make it known that we do want sidewalks? Do we don't want that variance to stand, or what?
that's what we're stating. That issue will be addressed at the
At the
LDP
LDP.
process.
Time of
So that's just
Engineering will-
between staff and the developer?
at
It
the time
would
of
be if that
LDP.
was y'all's vote.
So,
yes.
Mr. Woodson, does anybody need to give a reason why they're voting a particular way in opposition?
On the subdivision, if the final vote is not no, then we'll come back and ask for the reasons
Okay.
from those
That's
who
why I'll make
voted
sure everybody's aware of that, so. All right. So that being said, we'll start voting again with Ms. Hornsby.
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. Commission, before us, we have Z 1825. Mr. Wyatt petitions to request rezoning from GC to IL. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Rumsey?
Yes.
no,
No.
Yes.
No.
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 Yes.
Takes 5 votes to approve, there were 5 noes on the vote. So we'll go without recommendation from the commission.
All right, Commission, moving into our next companion case, we have the 2121 townhomes. This is a 4-lot subdivision on approximately 0.2 acres at 2121 14th Street. This is also zoned downtown historic edge, so this is a special district petition for the construction of 3 townhome units at this location. So starting off, you can see we're right next to the Net Shelby Park, kind of right off of Queen City and Almond. Zooming in on the property today, you can see there is that existing office and a parking lot here. They'd like to split this up into 4 lots, keeping that existing office on its own lot and creating 3 townhome lots you can see here. And here without contours, they're also providing parking on the street here on 22nd Avenue. Here is that site plan. You can see again on Lot 1, that is the existing office building that's to remain. And then on lots 2 through 4, they're proposing 3 townhomes as well as that on-street parking. We do not have any variance requests for the subdivision. However, this is within a special district, so you will need to be looking at those elevations tonight. This is zone DHE, Downtown Historic Edge. So again, there's that property, the existing office and parking lot. there's that zoning, downtown historic edge, touches some downtown perimeter here as well. Getting into our narrative, they'd like to construct 3 townhome units, each of which is approximately 1,500 square feet with 3 bedrooms. 9 public parking spots are proposed on 22nd Avenue. Primary materials are stucco and cementitious siding. The proposed townhomes will match the 14th and 22nd townhomes that face 14th Street that already exists today. We'll get into some more photos here to show you that. So from 14th Street on the left, you can see that existing office, again, no changes. And the side profile here down 22nd Avenue of the site today. Again, reminding you of that site plan, no changes on lot 1. Just proposing those 3 townhome units on lots 2 through 4. Getting into our elevations, you can see that front elevation here, rear elevation, our right side elevation, left side elevation. And these are the townhomes that they're have already developed. They're copying that same look, just moving it across the road here. In terms of the analysis, the Architectural Review Committee did find that overall this proposal meets the standards of downtown historic edge. They did give a recommendation vote. We did receive 7 comments in opposition to this request. Do you have any questions for staff?
Any questions for staff? Thank you. Petitioner.
Good evening, Commission. Jimmy Duncan with Duncan Coker, here tonight representing 5860 Old Montgomery LLC. Crawford Nixon with 5860 Old Montgomery is here with me tonight as well to help answer any questions. Leota pretty much covered all the components of this proposal. I think it'd probably be appropriate we can get into these 7 comment letters, emails, Mr. Chairman.
Well, we can hear from, letters on the record, and we've seen those. I say if you want to hear comments, let's hear from those.
We can do that, and then I can come back and revisit.
Yeah.
Because they're all pretty consistent.
It's probably the same stuff.
Yes,
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
The owner of the adjacent property, as you know, at the Fitz agency.
Yes, ma'am.
Has asked, because they're out of town and because of other complications and their concerns about this, have asked to continue this so that they can be further discussions with you and also to try to work something out that they are satisfied with or that whatever. Why not do that?
I spoke with Ms. Fitz a week ago and told her that me and my client would drop what we're doing to go to her office and take up any concerns. But instead, we get a 13-page letter, so we might just need to vote on it.
But the letter says, could you please, well, at least the comments to us have said, could you please postpone?
I spoke with Ms. Fitz herself on the phone a week ago today and told her, if you have any concerns whatsoever, I will come to your office and we can talk about this.
Obviously, she does have concerns and she's asked to postpone.
Okay.
Why not?
We might just need to vote on it tonight.
Petitioner. Okay, let's hear from Mr. Harrison.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let's, first person signed up, Wanda Muzan.
Hello, I'm Wanda Muzan. I live at 2015 11th Street. I will say I did put my comments online, so I wasn't sure how many people would sign up to speak. But since I guess I'm able to speak, anyways, they may be online as well. So what I want to address, I actually have 2 concerns for the plan as it's currently designed. Number 1, the current design would cause the loss of 2 healthy, beautiful, old oak trees and a healthy magnolia tree on 22nd Avenue. It has been well documented that trees enhance historic character, create enjoyable, walkable streets, and provide mental well-being. They improve air quality, protect the soil, increase economic stability, and increase property values. I'm not sure why we would ever cut one down that was healthy. Number two, the current design creates a curb cut on 14th Street. This is a very bad idea for several reasons. This block of 14th Street should be updated in a beautiful way based on the historically significant house that is right next door. It should be a very pedestrian-oriented block with no curb cuts. There are special events that are held at the Deering Swaim House, as well as tourists visiting the location and local visitors coming to this landmark home. Therefore, the street deserves to have special consideration and careful design choices. Curb cuts do much to harm a pedestrian experience. They also hinder the safety, especially in when it's an unexpected curb cut, much like the one that is proposed. This is a long stretch of block that there are no curb cuts. There is one curb cut on the street, but it's inactive. The current owner of the Deering Swaim House purchased the property and intends to keep the lot as a green space to accommodate, to complement, I should say, the front lawn of the historic property. So that current curb cut is not used and will not be used. When the street is redesigned as I'd like to propose, I'd like to see it go away. So, most times we just complain. I'd like to make some suggestions in addition to complaining. So my first suggestion is make better use of the street, of the on-street parking, especially on 22nd, such as parallel parking that avoids this front-loaded bays that actually are not on-street parking because they really encroach on the swale. They're really taking up the swale space, which is where the trees are planted. So I believe that's really city property, I would think. You can also look just at the block north of this project area that is really right next to the post office. There are, on one side next to the post office, it's diagonal parking. On the other side of the street, it's parallel parking. There was no encroachment on, there's a wide sidewalk there for people to get out and go into the post office and so forth. So it's right up the street. It can be done. I don't propose doing both parallel and diagonal back to back. That's probably not the best scenario, but I'm just suggesting that it's possible to use the on-street parking rather than these bays that would destroy the trees. I'd like to suggest that 14th Street, it's a very wide street right there, especially in this one block. It could be redesigned with diagonal parking on the south side, creating more available on-street parking for all the users.
Sorry to interrupt,
Am
but
I,
the time.
I'm up on
Yeah.
my time. Okay. Thank you, and I hope that we do consider this whole project holistically. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the next person signed up, Mr. Steve Muzan.
I am,
Name and address for the record, please.
oh, sorry. Yeah, Steve Muzan, live at 2015 Maxie Thomas Way, so not too far from there. But I'm not, I signed up on the against side, the against column. I'm not actually against the project. It's just got some problems that I'd love to see fixed, and so that it actually can be built well. I'm a very pro-development person. I'm very proud of the fact that in the almost 21 years I've been doing design review for the University of Alabama, that we've
helped to improve and then approve over $6 billion worth of construction on campus. I'm real proud of that. So I love to see good stuff get built. So I just want to be real clear what my motivation is to say, hey, just take the time and get get some of these things taken care of, and then that will be that'll be a good thing. I've worked with DPZ for years. People thought I was an employee, but I actually was a consultant the whole time. Also worked on the contributor to the ITE CNU Design Standard for Walkable Places, and also the Public Works Manual for walkable places. So in other words, I'm not just talking about opinions, I'm talking about actually documents and standards that I've been a part of helping to create. So
This is the firm in Miami, DPZ?
sorry?
The firm in Miami, DPZ?
Yes. Yeah, Seaside, Rosemary Beach, Alice Beach, and about 1,000 other places around the world. So if city staff hasn't run across this yet at conferences across the country of asking, has Tuscaloosa yet gotten rid of the requirement for off-street parking requirements? They're going to get a lot more of that because there's a huge wave across the country of cities that have said, no, let the market decide. Don't require off-street parking. I mean, this is a really big thing now. Actually, I went out this morning when they were cutting down a tree in front of the building, and when I was there the other day, I said, that tree is in bad shape. It's rotten and everything. It needs to come down. And I asked the people it was the city tree staff. They were out there and they said, yeah, this is the only one we're taking down. Everything else on that side, those are all great and healthy. We'd never touch those. And I said, hey, I totally agree with you. This one should come down, the other one should not. And so getting rid of the swale, like Wanda was saying, really the 22nd is ultra wide. It does not, basically it has, the travel lanes there are 1.5 times the size of an interstate lane where people will go, they were designed for people to go 90, 100 miles an hour, so this is 1.5 times that big. All it would take to get the parking on the street is just some paint stripes, That's what the developer ought to be asking the city for, is help me out, let's get more on-street parking and take care of the whole parking situation. The building itself, what we were seeing in the drawings were drawings that did not agree with themselves. Now, there's been some changes in the drawings that we're looking at up here on the screen, so that those have been, some of the issues I had with the drawings have been fixed, but there's other things that need to be fixed. And then you need to ask yourself, is the character of this Dutch West Indies design that looks like it belongs in Rosemary Beach or somewhere else on 38, is that actually a good neighbor design for Tuscaloosa townhouses? I would say that it actually is not. It's something that looks very exotic here and very unusual here in town. And then the lifespan of the material being proposed, which is the stucco and frame construction, that part of it has a very poor lifespan, which is why one thing it's eaten up with a whole bunch of control joints just so it won't fail. I got photos of that same product that has failed in Tuscaloosa 3 or 4 blocks away. It just doesn't last long. So do we really want to be building the stuff that has known short lifespans? And I got 24 seconds left. I'm gonna yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. All right, Mr. Chairman, next person signed up, Chuck Malone.
My name is Chuck Malone, 2216 14th Street, just going west up 14th Street. Mark Nelson and I, Commissioner Nelson and I, own this building. I bought the building back in 1991. I have watched this area change, watched the development that is across 22nd that was developed by Mr. Nixon. lived through it, had no problems. We welcome the development. It has been an asset for us, for, I think, our community. We had no problems during the construction, during the entire time. And the development that's here, I see the same type that has been developed there. I'm in favor, and Mr. Nelson is in favor of this development, and ask you to approve it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, next person signed up is Warner Johnson.
Hey, Warner Johnson, 16 Dunbrook. So I manage the existing townhome homeowners association. My office is literally almost within sight of this project. I drive by here all day, every day, have for 30 years. And before that, I used to jog by here every day from the downtown Y to Deering Place around. We had a jogging loop. So I've been a pedestrian on this street for 25 years. I use this daily in my daily routine, and I manage the existing townhome project. Crawford asked me to speak about the parking issues, if we've had any parking complaints or anything like that. The only parking complaints we've had are actually from the owners of the townhomes, because some of the adjoining neighbors were using the off-street parking on the existing project. So we had to talk to a few of the neighbors. The diagonal parking, if you put up the picture of the existing units, that's on-street parking. This diagonal is on-street parking. So what we really have is some of the neighbors that were there prior to the townhouses are using the on-street parking in those diagonal spaces along 14 and 22nd. I have not had anybody contact me about the owners of the townhomes parking, on a joint. I haven't had anybody call me and say, hey, you need to get a hold of your homeowners that are parking on our property. It's been just the opposite. If you see these back here, kind of back left behind, that's on street, that's off street, the last one he circled. The only complaints we've received is from some of the homeowners in the townhouses where we've had some of the adjoining neighbors in that area park in there, but we've never had anybody call my office complaining, and I assure you that's all I do all day is listen to people complain, because I manage over 5,000 HOA units in Tuscaloosa, and I have not gotten any complaints about any of the homeowners affecting any of the neighborhood. It's been just the opposite. The existing business and homeowners have parked on, places they haven't been, and that's really all I have to say. And he did mention it was funny. She was talking about the trees, and I noticed today the city's out there taking a huge tree down right in front of this property. I wondered which tree company it was, and I realized it was a city crew out there taking it down.
Can you pull the site plan back up?
And that's really all unless y'all have questions of me, that's really all I have to say. But all those diagonal parkings are on-street parking, and there's only 3 off-street parking, so that's actually going to add parking for everybody in that area. So it's first come, first serve. It's not reserved.
So the cars for these townhomes are, where do they park on the street?
So the existing townhomes that are already built, the diagonal parking that's shown coming down 22nd, there's some diagonal parking in front that comes down 14th. That is on-street parking. So if one of those homeowners were to call me and complain about the guy living across the street parking in that diagonal parking, there's nothing we can do about that. But I've never really, the only thing that if someone were to call me and somebody that did not own one of those townhomes was parking in that off-street, and that's the complaint we had to do something about, then that's an issue. You're really only going to have 3 parking spaces on this new site that would be for exclusive use of those townhouses. The rest of that would be on-street parking and could be used by anybody in the area. It's city street parking. So you're adding parking, so.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that's all we have signed up tonight.
All right. Mr. Duncan, you want to address those comments?
Let's make sure that there's no one else in the,
Say again?
make sure there's no one else in the,
Okay, we've got, all right, we do have a couple slots available. We're going to limit to 4, so if you're here to speak in opposition, we've got 2 slots. So please come forward if you have any opposition comments. Name and address for the record.
My name's John McClellan. I'm with McClellan Architecture, 1610 Alka Place, and I'm here representing Ms. Carrie Fitz. I'm not here to speak in opposition to the proposal. I'm here to request a continuance. This seems to me to be a very particular case and one that there's no special need to rush. The city has just gone through a long process creating these new zoning categories. And this is one of the first, if not maybe the first project that's proposed for the new downtown historic edge, which is a district that was created specifically to guide development that's adjacent to the historic districts. And it seems to me this is kind of a perfect test case for that, because you've got one of the most prominent historic buildings in town immediately adjacent to the proposed project. It's owned by a woman who is one of the more prominent realtors in town, obviously not a person who's opposed to development. The developer here is one of the most respected builders and developers in town. Crawford Nixon's been at this a long time. I think we all know his reputation here. So it's not that the primary parties here are opposed to development or opposed to development adjacent to the historic districts. But it is the case that given that this is a new category, and also that Ms. Fitz, who owns this property, can't be here because she's out of the country, we would like to request a continuance to the next meeting to give the parties concerned time to discuss the project. I'm not here to discuss any of the merits of the project at all, but I believe that this merits taking the time to be sure that we do this right. And I think the folks involved are professionals, and I think they can come to an understanding that both they and the city will be happy with. Thank you.
John, I believe the petitioner has to request that. Right, is that correct?
I'm only here representing the neighbor who is requesting that
I
it be
understand.
continued. But
I'm saying is we can't do that without the petitioner.
I understand that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Anglin, 1425 Main Avenue, Northport. I'm Carrie Fitz's daughter, and I am reading a letter that she wrote. Dear Commissioners, I write today with a simple but important appeal. Please do not view this proposal in isolation. Now is the time to resist siloed decision-making and instead embrace the opportunity to see the whole picture. Not just the subdivision of 4 lots, but the broader consequences this proposal may have on an entire block that is historically significant and uniquely positioned within our community. This block, home to the Deering Swaim home, the Hardin Hughes Law Office, is more than just a parcel of land. It's a showcase block rich in architectural legacy, civic identity, and cultural potential. It deserves careful, collaborative planning, not piecemeal development. We've seen what happens when we do not plan holistically. Decisions made in the past permitted blight and inappropriate infill next to 2 of Tuscaloosa's most iconic architectural landmarks, the Drish House and the Jimmonson Mansion. In both cases, the city was left with long-term consequences that undermined historic preservation and degraded the visual and cultural value of the area. The creation of Framework Tuscaloosa, and specifically the Downtown Historic Edge District, was meant to prevent these outcomes. While zoning codes may allow certain actions, Framework offers a broader, more responsible lens, one that supports growth, but with sensitivity to context and long-term character. It empowers us to apply common sense, appreciate scale, and protect what makes Tuscaloosa unique. This development isn't just about 4 lots. There are neighboring properties that could just as easily be sold, rezoned, and redeveloped. If this project proceeds as proposed, what stops the rest of the block from following suit and we watch this key block become morphed as one development brand? We have seen near campus what happens with large-scale, stylistically inconsistent complexes consume the landscape. This is an opportunity to convene a conversation. It's a chance to bring neighbors, property owners, planners, architects, and city staff together, guided by the framework vision to ask, what should this block look like in 5, 10, or 50 years? I've put my money into my property that has improved the value of not only the Deering Swaim house, but the block. I have allowed organizations from the community to use the building for free. I feel between the money and the civic participation, I am a stakeholder in the future of this block and how it will look not only from my windows, but also the street. I respectfully ask that the commission postpone or deny this application until a more collaborative and complete plan is brought forward, one that reflects the full context and character of the block, considers long-term implications and cumulative precedent, applies consistent architectural treatment to all visible elevations, honors green space, walkability, and pedestrian friendliness, balances the rights of new development with the investments and legacy of those who have already contributed to the vibrancy of the district. Tuscaloosa's architectural heritage is not just a relic of the past, it is part of the city's brand, its economy, and its quality of place. Let's not replicate the mistakes of the past. Let's lead with vision, context, and care. When you know better, you do better. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Duncan, next, y'all care to?
So I've done my best to summarize and kind of package up these responses to these comments that were generally all the same in 4 or 5, 6 emails in these letters. There were some comments made about critical design cues that were missing, including setbacks and scale. So this project is completely compliant with required setbacks, density, building height, et cetera. We hear this concern over and over about the walkability thing is broken. The sidewalks that we're putting back are the exact sidewalks that are there today. Same width, same configuration, same place. The concerns over the parking, Mr. Rumsey, I want to come back to one thing and correct something that Mr. Johnson said when he was trying to play engineer. Those are the 9 new parking spaces that we're proposing with this project, 6 of which are required with the townhome component. And although we're not required to provide any additional parking for the office building, we're providing 3, which gets us to 9 that would be required had we considered any improvements.
Where are the 3?
So there's 9 in total, Mr. Rumsey, there.
All right, so are they in the city right away, or are they on the property?
All this parking this bank of parking spaces is in city right away.
So you don't have any parks. City's got parks. You don't have any.
So we're eligible for up to 12 on-street spaces to count toward our own site count.
What I'm saying is that you're not parking on your land, so you're not really, the city's providing the park.
Yes, sir, at the cost of my client. There's length here sufficient for 3 tandem spaces in that proposed driveway off of 14th. And what's neat about and unique about that, Crawford is, Crawford's moving his office to this office building. So a notion that he's not going to see it, he's going to look out the back window of that office building at this development. He's got a legitimate stake in having this thing done right, being the fact that he's moving his entire operation over here. So to those 3 spaces, Mr. Crawford's staff, much of whom is here with us tonight, office staff is fairly small. Those 3 spaces will support his office staff when they are full. So we've gone above and beyond the parking need. Again, completely code compliant. The parking that you see there, the configuration on 22nd Avenue is a configuration that we've repeated hundreds of times in downtown Tuscaloosa, where we have these excessively wide right-of-ways, 99 feet. We provide angle parking, which is a standard configuration in right-of-way. There was a concern in one of these emails about the 14th Street time limit spaces. No net loss of spaces in 14th. So in total, that entire strip of parallel spaces, most of those spaces today are like 28 feet, 29 feet and some change in length. We're going to restripe those to allow for the driveway penetration with a net loss of 0 parking spaces. code minimum is 22 feet wide, so we're going to take that excess length built into those spaces with no net loss along 14th Street. So there was, going back to the incomplete drawings that have been mentioned, there was a comment in one of these letters from, I think, Mrs. Stone about the lack of material samples. I guess I'm just confused. I mean, Mr. Nixon built this exact building in 2022 right across the street. The exact building that we're proposing about right now. So I'm not sure why.
Can you pull it up?
I'm not sure why lack of material samples is super critical here. There was a comment about the landscape plan not being submitted with this package. The landscape plan is not required with this package. Of course, leave it to Jimmy to be the guinea pig on the first application in the DHE, so here I am. It doesn't say that a landscape plan is required. However, we have one prepared that will go in with our land development permit.
Jimmy, on this drawing, you've got parks, you got 45s in front, and it looks like you got parking down the side that are numbered. So this building has dedicated parking on site?
Yes, sir, Mr. Rumsey. On this site, so this is the exact same configuration that we're proposing off 22nd.
I guess what I'm saying is this, what makes it not exact is you've got dedicated parking, I guess, the ones that say 1, 2, 3.
Correct. So
Those would,
this is on-site parking. Those are numbered, assigned individually to the units. On that particular project, we could not make the parking work completely on right-of-way.
well, I mean, you've got land for parking on site.
Well, it ultimately worked out such that with the parking building balance that we always go through with this thing, we couldn't get another building without making the parking work, so we just took advantage of it and said, let's build some dedicated on-site spaces with that one. So that is one component that we're not carrying ahead to the 20.
You said it was exact.
One component that we're not carrying ahead to the 22nd project. There's a comment in the package about a lack of a massing study. I don't know that requirement exists in any DHE, zoning, subdivision, anywhere in the city of Tuscaloosa, Alabama code. So that is the reason we did not submit one of those. And last but not least, Ms. Hornsby, I apologize for maybe my slight aggression with the comment about continuing. And I appreciate the Muzans being here. I appreciate all this feedback. Most importantly, I told Crawford this 2.5 weeks ago when we first really started cranking on this thing. From a design perspective, I mean, we're well into our development drawings with this thing. And I told him, I said, Crawford, Lewis Fitz is a close friend of mine for whom I have a great deal of respect for, as well as Kerry. Would you mind if I call them? I'm not going to do that without his authorization. And guys, we've got a lot of clients that say, don't call them. Just let's roll the dice, don't call them. And I got to follow suit. And a lot of times I come in here with my hand tied behind my back because we've not been able to have a discussion ahead of time. So I talked with Lewis right at 2 weeks ago. Kerry happened to be out of town that same day. She was going to get back in town on a Friday. And he said, Jimmy, call her. Take this up with her. And he said, I can tell you we're not crazy about it, but you need to talk to Kerry. And I said, that's why I'm here. So I didn't want to bother her on Friday. Spoke with her last Monday morning, a week ago and some change. And again, I sent her my site plan. I said, Ms. Fitz, this is the exact same building that's right across the street. If you have any concerns whatsoever, Crawford's office is a block away. I will go pick him up and we'll be at your office. Say the time and we'll be there. So up until Thursday afternoon, Ms. Hornsby, until this 13-page letter came flying in, I was under the impression we had no problems. And now we're talking about everything from the fact that we don't like parking on 22nd Avenue, but hey, let's put some angle parking on 14th Street. So I guess I'm just a little bit confused as to what is really wrong here. And we don't really see the need to continue it.
All right, I have a question. I understand in terms of the nature of trying to make your projects the same in terms of materials, building materials and so forth. But was there any consideration that the location of this was in proximity to a historic structure in terms of materials, in terms of bringing some consistency and conformity to the historic preservation of that block.
Vince, so you just lobbed a question out that's so far over Jimmy Duncan's head. I'm gonna let Crawford talk to you about his knowledge about stucco and building facade.
Right,
I'm gonna get
because
out of the way.
I do, and understanding the nature of stucco, it, you know.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Mr. Crawford Nixon. My address is 1708 16th Street. I've had a sudden loss of hearing.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to ask you to repeat
Oh, no
that.
problem.
That's why I'm leaning my head.
All right, no problem. So
I'm leaning like a drum.
in terms of, I understand your need to have your projects the same in terms of building material and cost effectiveness of that. But my question is, was there any consideration that the location of this one was close to a historical structure in terms of making some consistency with materials and making that match in terms of the block that you're putting this particular project of building on? Does that make sense?
It does. I thought it was perfect. Do y'all have a picture of the Fitz real estate office? If you can pull that up. The reason I'm asking for that, you know where I'm going? It's exactly the same finish as this building. It's white stucco. It's cementous material. I really thought, she's got white, this is white. They're both stucco. They are the same. And there's cement. Cementous means concrete. It's just a thinner application. It's not the, and I'm not going to get down in the grass with you, but it's not a synthetic or something that's not long-term. It costs a lot of money. It costs more than brick. I think Mr. Harrison would tell you that. You really can't put on anything that costs any more. That's probably why they put it on the Swain House. It's still standing here. I should have said this. I also, like Mr. Fitz, I know Lewis. He calls me, asks me about property. I know Terry Fitz, known her for years as a realtor. And when she had subs and you, I went there about 20 years and gained 20 pounds. So I've known them both forever. I really didn't see this as an issue, to answer your question. As far as conforming, can y'all turn back the clock on what was on 14th and 22nd across the street, maybe 3 years ago? While they look for it, 14th and 22nd, which is where this picture is located right now, had a property that was on the market, I don't know, 5, 6 years. It was in total disrepair. It was not good. If anybody like this, they need to think through what they're going for. It was a dilapidated, fallen in, boarded up, and on the market for about 5 years. When I purchased that, and I did this, what you're looking at, there was no opposition directly across the street. Directly across the street. So I didn't see this coming. Yeah, we're getting close. Okay, if you freeze it right there, where he's got that pointer, that is Vibe Hair Salon today. I wish we had do you have a before and after picture? I don't know if y'all can look at that. That's before. That was the John Fisher Law Law Agency. It was on the market for 3 or 4 years. Now, that's not even the one I'm talking about. But that was on the market 3 or 4 years, directly across the street. Nobody's interested in it. That picture actually looks good compared to the state.
Really, Kerry just wants to know whether you'll extend it or not. So you talk to her. That's all she wants to know.
We tried. I give you a 2-week notice. I really think somebody will call me back.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, you call Lewis, she don't call and she's out of town. She's out of town tonight. I mean, I'm here both times. I mean, I'm available. Using the same product, Bought 2 residences across the road with the same product. Nobody came, not even one person came for those meetings. So I really thought tonight was just, that's gonna be a good product. I've been asked by a lot of people, city staff as well as the public. That's straight across the street from the post office. It's enhanced that. Ms. Fitz has white stucco, we have white stucco. I'm saving an old building that I want to move into.
But you know, you are having to utilize the city right away to meet your parking. And then across the street, you've met your parking on your own land. It's not the same.
No, I paid for all the parking across the street except for 6 spaces.
What I'm saying is you had off-street parking across the street.
I did, yeah. I had
So-
6.
Whenever you use land for parking, that's land that could be used for building. And on this particular project, you're using all the land for building and you're using the city's land for parking. And that, if that means, so you don't have to have off-street parking? But did he before? I mean, what's the difference?
Right, yeah, the code previously might have required it, but this code's a little bit more lenient. They can use 12 off-street parking spaces.
I know that we have had
Or
some situations where
on-street.
you can get credit for up to 50% of your parking,
Right,
but you still have to have some off-street, but in this area, you don't have to have anything.
no,
So, and
up to 12 spaces.
Mr. Mazan's point is it's a very wide street.
Right.
Could probably be reconfigured.
That's the reason that, to Mr. Muzan's point, he had stated, other cities are already taking away parking minimums and parking maximums. We're a little bit behind the curve there, but we are inching towards that, and this is one of those ways.
Zach, not to get confused, I mean, he's meeting the parking requirements.
He's
based on
meeting the parking
current-
requirements.
Okay.
Parking
That-
is, he doesn't have to ask for
But
any.
he is building on a parking lot that's being used right now for
Right.
the office, right?
He is.
And last time,
So this will have to accommodate both the office parking and the new
Right,
tenants.
and they do, yeah.
to answer your question, Stephen, last time, we did not have to add the 6 off-parking spots. We just elected to do that.
Crawford, do you think you're gonna stack those cars in that driveway? Do you think you're gonna do that, or?
No, I don't really like an office, so I'm probably not gonna come there much anyway. I'd probably stay on a job site. With all due respect to Mr. Harrison, more than I should. So I'm not gonna be there much. I would expect, we took pictures last Friday. I don't know if y'all have those, but we're real worried about parking, but we wanted some up-to-date parking. I don't know if y'all have those loaded. Should have printed them. But 14th Street, which y'all showed a picture of a minute ago, had, in the middle of the day, whenever that was taken, there were no pictures. If you just pull back up the aerial that had this project, it was an overlay, topography overlay. Yeah, there's nobody parked in all of 14th Street. I mean, if you're looking at that, there's nobody in all of 14th Street except one car and a trailer that a resident had left in that 14th Street diagonal space on the corner on 14th. And if you look further down on 22nd, there's only 2 cars in that parking lot. And that's about what we typically have at the office, 2 or 3. Further down, west, or I guess that's south, what was a development that was done adjacent to Miss Fitz's property 5 years ago, 6?
How about the Mr. Blakeney project from a few years back?
Yeah, that's right, Blakeney project. They have no cars in that parking lot. So we're adding parking. Unfortunately, we're not adding a lot of workers, but these are also, or have not been homeowners, and if they are, there's adequate parking. We're meeting that. So I'm,
Hey, Crawford, is that lot that's east of this parcel, is that owned by Kerry Fitz, or is that, who owns that lot?
yeah,
That's
Carrie's.
Yeah, I understand where Carrie's house is.
Ms. Fitz owns that property.
Yeah.
Carrie Fitz owns that one?
Yeah, she owns her own parking lot. That's very convenient. She owns
With
about an
access.
acre and 3/4 right there. And her parking lot is, looks like it's got 3 or 4 cars in it at the time that this picture was taken. She also owns the lot with a red X on it right now. She bought that within the last couple of years.
Mr. Nixon, I understand that you are frustrated that you have that you've reached out to work out any questions and details with Ms. Fitz and with other historic district and neighborhood folks who raised concerns. But my question's a little bit different from that. And you know, I don't blame you for being frustrated.
I'm
about
not frustrated.
That makes sense.
May sound that way. I'm
Is there
surprised.
any hardship to you in waiting another month to have this decided and engaging in that conversation that she's asked for?
Well, I've actually leased the property where I am. Where my business is located, I have got a tenant that's moving in, so there's a hardship. So if I wait on her to come back from vacation until this tenant, I may lose somebody who wants to sign a lease, and they're very sensitive to, they work a lot hand in hand with the university.
So
they need.
So you're moving out of the office that's across the.
I'm moving from 16th Street.
Right.
Where I currently am.
To
and I have
the
a
office
tenant-
that you say you're never at anyway.
Well, my office manager.
Isn't that right?
two other ladies. That's exactly right, yeah. I'll drop by and they'll hand me some papers and a lot of emails, but, yes.
So is there really any hardship to you to wait another,
Yeah.
I don't know when Ms. Fitz gets back next week and hear this next month?
As I was saying, I have a tenant who has leased the spot.
Right.
We have a date that he wants to occupy. So that is a hardship. I mean,
And you're going to move where on that date?
and I hope to move to this spot. That's what we
Well,
stated.
it's not built yet.
There's an office. There's
The other office, okay, understand, yeah,
You know there's a law office on the corner right now?
right.
Okay, that's
That's
where
where
I'm
you're
moving.
going, okay.
This might be a good time. I mean, this is, since Mr. Duncan mentioned this, I think he's the guinea pig for this special district. Staff was kind enough to give me a printout, and I want to read this, and this might just give some thought to this section about development within a special district. And here's the purpose. The purpose of this section is to establish a uniform mechanism to ensure that new construction in the DHE, DRLC, and LMF zoning districts is compatible with adjacent developments and adheres to the zoning requirements of the underlying zoning districts. So I thought that would be kind of a loop back around and remind everybody what this first time we've ever heard a case in the special district, what is the purpose of it? And so when I thing that got my attention was compatible with adjacent developments. And I understand the historic nature of the Swain home. I've lived up on 23rd Avenue forever. I love he's keeping the house, the office, as is, because it's obviously it's aesthetically very pleasing, and I think the design is awesome. But I mean, again, if compatible with adjacent developments, to me, kind of sticks out pretty clearly. And again, he's meeting all the requirements, and I'm sorry that the neighbor, but she's well represented here, by the way. We've got lots of letters and lots of comments, but to ask this petitioner, which is his right to ask for a vote, to ask him to continue, I think that's not our jobs here. That is the petitioners. So for anybody, commissioner or public, that's pushing for a continuance, that's not our place, our role.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I mean, we've often asked people to take a continuance and consult with
Mr.
neighbors
Crawford,
and
would you like to continue?
But that's, I mean, we've done that a lot.
We have done, but it's his choice.
Well, it is.
We've
and
never
I'm not saying
advocated.
that, but I don't think it's inappropriate.
But
for
there
us
seems
to
to be a
ask that.
concerted effort from different angles here push for this continuance.
And we've done that
All I
before.
said was answer Carrie's question.
I mean, so.
I don't care whether he does it or not.
I mean, from that standpoint, we've asked and they said they want to continue, so.
And sometimes they've said no.
Yeah,
But
I'm
we
talking
ask
about
a lot.
current-
I don't
I'm
think it's
saying that,
inappropriate
but-
for us to.
Excuse me. But currently, we've asked him and he's asked us. to
That's
proceed.
right, and I haven't pursued it again.
Thank you.
So any other comments from you, Mr. Nixon?
None, unless y'all have any questions.
I mean, unless, yes, any questions from Mr. Nixon or Mr. Duncan?
I do have a question for Mr. Pounds.
Who?
Pounds?
Oh.
I'm trying to be formal here.
Pounds, who is that? Oh, that guy.
Oh, I meant
Hans.
Hans. I'm sorry, Zach. I just should have said Zach, shouldn't I? You know, the way that I've read this, and I might have misread it, but I mean, the subdivision, of course, it's meeting all the requirements, not asking for any variances. We don't have a reason to, in my opinion, to vote no on the subdivision. I don't really know what the initials SD stand for, but that's a special district, I guess, okay. And the way that I've read this, there's really, I mean, if we wanted to vote no on this, I'm not sure what our rationale or reasons would be. I understand that the architecture, it looks like Alice Beach. You know, I'm kind of like, in my opinion, if something was built that looked more like the Gorgas homey office look, that would, you know, be better for me, but that's not, I can't put my aesthetics onto Mr. Nixon's aesthetics and what he thinks looks good. And it does match what's compatible. It is compatible with what's across the street, to Mr. Wright's point. It can't necessarily be compatible with everything around it because there's kind of a mixture of different things around it. So I'm not even sure, even if Mr. Nixon wanted to continue it, what would change? I mean, he's not going to change his proposal, I wouldn't think. And I know they're wanting the parking to be different, but
Who's wanting the parking?
some of the people who are in opposition to it. But if we parallel park, he certainly wouldn't have enough spaces. And he's got to get the diagonal parking in there to be able to accommodate who's going to live there, I would think. I mean, am I missing something here?
If I've got any consternation, it's just a one-of-a-kind home, and it's hard to deal with these type homes. I mean, because, right, you know, there was probably a time, actually, I know there's a time, I've been in the attic of this house, and you walk up a set of stairs, and you open a hatch, and there was probably a time when you could look for a mile in every direction, when it was really rural and farmland. And now, I guess we're getting ready to build a block, somewhat of a blockade where you can't see this extraordinary antebellum mansion, okay? Now, I think your question about is 30 days going to cause him, you know, I think if Carrie Fitz came in here and said, you know, we've debated this thing backwards and forwards, and I don't have any problem with it. In other words, she didn't really say she had a problem with it. She just asked him to continue it. But once you build that building and you block that home, you have changed this block. And this is a historical block. Now look, I've done more battles with the historic district than anybody else times 5.
This is true.
Okay? But this is, there's only a few of these houses in this town. And we can run over Carrie Fitz tonight. She's not here. You know what? She's in the south of France or somewhere, and you know what? We could say tough on you. But I suspect it's not going to kill Crawford. But, you know, and I don't know that it would necessarily change my vote, but I think we have a history of asking. You know, what really throws a kink in it is he asked for communication, and he says she just refused. And now she's asking for communication. So this is gonna be a judgment call. But you only get one chance to build a building in front of a house that is 175 years old. And it's not all the same. I get that some of our code has changed, but everybody, in other words, they don't get this development without using city property. In other words, and I don't know that the city has an obligation to allow it, because back to your trees, the city has trees. You know, look, I donated land on Bryant Drive, and they planted trees I didn't even ask for an opinion, should have, but all the way down Bryant Drive, they planted trees. Now, if somebody wanted to come along and just put parks there, I don't know that the city has an obligation to allow it, because it's the city's property. So there's that question in my mind, okay? But once he starts construction on this block will be changed forever, because right now, on a 180-degree angle, you can see this home from 300 yards. And I don't know what the elevation is at the top of this building that he's building, and I don't know how much of this building it'll block. But I do think does it cause me any consternation? A little bit, because, but by the way, I like Crawford Nixon's design, and I think what they've done on this block is extraordinary. Back to his point about what it was and what it is. I'm with it. But we only get one chance. Look, I almost bought this one time. And you know, we allowed, I think she owned this area back here where these townhomes were. I think that was part of this original tract. And we allowed those townhomes to go, and we let them carve that off. And I'm just saying that we can cannibalize this whole thing and make it where you can't see that home. And you know what? That might just be the way it is today. I don't know. But this is just, and I wish they would come up here hand in hand, agreeing on this. But he can call, for the vote, and I think whatever the vote is, it is. So that's my feeling. I own one of these houses, and Lord, something else to own.
Mr. Duncan? You have the floor. What do you want to do?
I want to address the parking thing one more time. These angle parking spaces are allowed on city right-of-way, Mr. Rumney. We're not asking for anything special.
Does the city have an obligation to?
Mike Gardner has reviewed this plan and didn't say anything about not being able.
Didn't ask that.
It's his decision. It's his decision as the office of the city. He's the city engineer. He would say yes or no to this. It's his decision whether or not those trees stay or go for the parking. And for him to say that he's okay with this,
No, I got it.
and my understanding is it's him saying that he's okay with the trees going away.
I'm not really questioning this particular project. I'm saying in general, does the city have an obligation to acquiesce for their land to be used for parking?
No, you're right.
But do they own it in fee simple? You know, sometimes they just have a right-of-way, which means an easement.
No, this is,
So
yeah,
this
this
is fee
is
simple?
the city's property.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we're eligible to count up to 12 spaces on right-of-way.
Right.
Within the right-of-way. And yes, sir, we are ready for your vote.
Thank you, sir. I'll ask. All right, commission. I think unless somebody wants to have any final comments or statements, please feel free to do that now. Okay, having heard none. Commission, before us, we have the subdivision first, right? Want to do that subdivision? All right, here we go. Subdivision is 6521. And there is
I would actually recommend doing the
special district.
other one first because the subdivision is contingent somewhat upon the special district.
Like you said, this is the first rodeo for all of us. So SD 0425 is the special district request for 3 townhomes on 2121 14th Street.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Rumsey?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved. Commission, before us, we have now S 6525. Subdivision for 4 lots.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Hornsby?
No?
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion approved.
All right, Commission, we have one more standalone special district petition tonight. That is SD 0325. This is for the exterior renovation of a 5-story building within our special district of downtown. This is at 550 Greensboro Avenue, Council District 4. You can see that property today. That structure does exist, as well as the parking. We're right next to Chuck's, kind of sandwiched between many of our major streets here. Looking at the zoning, it is downtown, which is another special district. Getting into our narrative here, the applicant would like to renovate the exterior of an existing 5-story building. On the ground floor, the existing materials are masonry, plaster, glass storefront. This is to remain or be replaced with like materials. Moving to the upper stories, there are existing alternating vertical bands of gravel stucco cladding, as well as glazed curtain wall. That curtain wall is to be demolished and be replaced with individual window assemblies. They'd like to use an alternative material of an interlocking metal panel system on top of that existing gravel stucco cladding. For accent materials, we have metal trim around the windows and at balconies, glass and steel railing panels, and the balconies will not extend beyond the building footprint. They'll be clad in metal and wood look metal soffit panels. Moving into the structure today, starting from Gary Fitz Street in Greensboro, moving around to University and Lurleen B. Wallace. Getting into our elevations here, you can see those metal panel systems over that existing gravel stucco. They're proposing a restaurant on the ground floor. Moving around to Gary Fitz Street, you can see those balconies start to show up here and around the building. Moving to Lurleen B. Wallace side, kind of continuing around, you can kind of see that consistent pattern here. Getting into the renderings, you can see this is what it could look like in the future. This is from Greensboro. The rear, this would be looking from University Boulevard. And here's that, kind of what the balcony would look like in detail. In terms of our Architectural Review Committee, they found and did vote to recommend this proposal. However, the proposed metal panel system that would be applied to the stucco pillars does exceed the permitted metal percentage per facade. Metal is an accent material that does not exceed 25% per facade.
And do we know how much over 25%?
The applicant did submit some slides that has those percentages on there. I don't recall the exact off the top of my head. Mr. Pons can pull them up. The applicant does state that the metal is necessary to meet the constraints of the existing structure and to mitigate the failure of the existing gravel stucco cladding, as well as to maintain the mid-century character of the existing building. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
Fisher?
Scott Burnett. I am a Vice President of CCR Architecture and Interiors. My address in Birmingham is 2920 First Avenue South. That's Birmingham, Alabama. I'm a Tuscaloosa native. My parents still live in Northport, and they closed on their first home mortgage in this building. So it's a fun story. I think there's a few slides, I guess, if you, we can just, there's a clicker. Okay, does the top one move it? Okay, there we go. All right, so just starting with the current state, I first was hired by some previous owners. There were 2 previous owners before this owner. this building seems to have changed hands many times. It was like the hot potato, I think. We noted when we first looked at this building that there was signs that some of the gravel coating had fallen at some point. We hope gravity has stopped. But when we first looked at this building, we assumed that those were precast panels hanging on a building. It's what they look like. If you look there, it's pretty common. I'd actually recently done a renovation of a similar building up in Homewood that had precast panels in the same configuration, so it was an assumption that it was precast. It's not. As the demolition started occurring on the inside, we were able to see something that's a little odd. Let's see if I go back. What you see are metal studs, old school, really old school metal studs, and then moving out from the metal studs is craft paper, just asphalt impregnated craft paper with wires pushed through it to tie metal lath to it, and then they screeded stucco over it. No sheathing, no vapor barrier, no other wall assemblies. They basically wire tied stucco. So then we got someone to go knock a hole in it. So let's look at this stuff. So we knocked a hole in it. It's this thick. It's an inch and a half being recorded. So it's roughly an inch or less thick, and it gets a little thicker where the grooves happen. So really the only way to, thinking about how to skin this building, honor its life as a mid-century building, the game shouldn't be to make this thing look like something it never was. And then give it some longevity. We are proposing to come, so there's some reasons we're proposing this. We're proposing to add blocking where you see the white lines running through the studs. We need to through bolt the existing assembly. We can't attach anything to it, and resist gravity as long as we should. So we're going through it with blocking inside the wall at intervals up the building. So basically mid-span of the floor and then at each floor, which gives us about a 7 to 8 foot span for the blocking. And the only thing we can really get to span well that way are metal panels. So that's the reason for an alternative use of material. And the other thing that you get out of this is you get a 30-year finish warranty that is a warranty against fading, chalking, and all of that out of this material. You're not going to get that out of anybody painting stucco. We need it for long span. We will add a liquid applied weather barrier before we put these metal skins on, and that gets us out of having to. There's no way we could sheathe this. We couldn't put sheathing on it and then put material over that.
There's only one person on this board that understands what you're saying.
I know, I'm talking to him, just nodding. I happen to.
I am definitely with you.
All right,
But it sounds really good.
I'm happy to fill in the blanks at some other level, and you know what sheathing is. All right, so.
I don't think we need to honor the building. I think we need to do whatever.
Mr. Rumsey, you're wrong
That's fair.
about one thing, though. He's got to design, but he's got to build it. So these two, they talk to these two.
Yeah, I'm saying you can honor the building if you want. But
That's fair. That's fair.
another hour than we have.
That's fair. All right, so the solution that didn't involve tearing all of the skin off of the building is the one that we've proposed. We are proposing new aluminum storefront windows with a spandrel glass. The green and blue colored material you see is a spandrel glass panel at each of the floor systems. This doesn't. So we're showing a metal wood look metal soffit panel, then glass railings, clear anodized storefront, and then we have all of the vertical panels are a fluted concealed fastener architectural metal panel. We've got a little bit of ceramic tile on the flanking on the insides of the balconies. You saw that in one of the photos earlier. And that's pretty much the balance of it. To answer the previous question, I promise it will never be pink and yellow.
Not to say don't.
But you might as well say it loud, right? So on the, I think the notations are backwards. The math is correct. So this is 6th Street now, named Someone Fits.
Yeah.
I just picked up on that. And Greensboro's over there, but the percentages are correct. But this gives you the math off from 25%. just circling back to the difference between what it looks like now and what we're proposing. So I think that's it.
Adjourn.
Thank you.
So Scott, thank you for that detail. I was wondering, what was the building material, the substrate behind the exterior finish there? Because that actually helps. When you look at this, you're looking at it from a standpoint of performance first. You know, then you're looking at the weight and what you have to attach to, secondly. And of course, aesthetics would be probably the third level of that. But my question is, in terms of, and I understand it, thank you for breaking that down, and I understand your why. My question is now, are there any other architectural design profiles in terms of this panel besides the one that you're presenting right now?
We looked at
Because I'm looking at a flat, maybe you do something that's symbolic, that's kind of more of a, instead of a rib look, maybe a flush look that gives that.
We looked at a flat panel.
Okay.
And it frankly, I'm a little concerned. The flatter the panels get, the longer they get, the more you're going to see oil canning.
Oil canning. Okay.
This wall is only as flat as they built it before I was born, and probably not flatter since then. So I think that a little bit of fluting in the panel is going to help it not have any of that oil canning.
I guess I'm more worried about, I'm more,
They're chicken wired. They're
Yeah,
absolutely chicken wired to the studs. Yes.
I'm more concerned about if it looks like the metal building panels. You know, I want to think getting away from that look would be ideal.
We were sensitive to pick something with a pretty shallow, a shallow depth to it, to the fluting, because I agree. But we also need something that will carry that span. And usually the super flat stuff won't give you the same span.
So it would be symbolic of an architectural panel on a roof panel, opposed to your standing seam.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
My concern, and a couple things, I understand why you're doing the panel, I understand the economics of it being next year. Currently you got spalling of the finishes that's on there. How are you gonna protect it behind the existing structure? I mean, the integrity of it. If you have some of it loose, so you have areas that are loose that you haven't identified yet, because you're actually penetrating these panels.
That's right.
And vibrate them, and will
so
potentially loosen the existing finish coat or aggregate coating design.
Clearly, if it starts falling apart, well, the skin will, the end design basically, if we put the metal panels up and we use blocking through the studs to secure the metal panels, the stucco inside it could completely collapse inside the wall and be just trapped in the wall. Nobody wants that. We don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, you're not going to take those off?
No.
Well, no.
You're just going to.
They're going to sandwich.
Correct.
I guess my concern is if you have a large piece of this, and again, this understanding, if you have a large panel with this, you got some pretty good weight that's going to be hanging down on a bracket that's not designed for that on the wall system.
So
that's one concern. I mean, and that's something you got to deal with the seating, the permanent. That's just food for thought. Yeah. There's a picture of the balcony on this. Can you back up to that? Let me.
Yeah.
You know, this is such a lovely building as it is. I mean, it's probably one of the best looking buildings in Tuscaloosa. So you got to really challenge yourself to come up with something much better than this.
Clicker.
But here's what I would challenge. I'm a contractor and y'all architects on another planet. I don't know where y'all exist. But I mean, take this view here and look across the street. Look at the view you got across the street of that building and the aesthetics that you're trying to match in downtown Tuscaloosa. Man, y'all got an opportunity to make a statement here. There's all kind of panels out there that mimic different components, building components.
Sure.
Just take a stab looking at some of those. They'll do the same thing that this will. I mean, I understand oil canning. I understand you're trying to rib, and I get it. But there's different panels out there that will do the same thing you're doing, that can somewhat enhance the beauty of this building, in my opinion, match the aesthetics that you're doing downtown in Tuscaloosa. So just food for thought.
Okay. To your question about structure, really quickly. That's not a building from across the street. That is.
Well, I
It's
understand
close
that.
enough, though.
I
It is, to
understand
your
it's
point,
not.
there is a building
Look,
that looks similar
I
to
get
that
it,
across
but
the
I mean,
street.
it's similar in
Yeah,
architecture.
that's
You've
right.
got the red brick, you've
That's
got the flat roofs, you've got the profiles on the outside.
Yeah. The shirt shop is over there. It's
Well, this is Tuscaloosa. We're still.
I can't get the clicker to work anymore. But you're good. We'll wait for a second. But to your point, your question about structure, Jennifer Wilson and I have, there is a detail that basically takes the blocking directly.
Well, if you
to the
got
back.
Jennifer, you should have said that first. I'm okay with it.
It's all, we've sorted it out.
Good, good.
Because you will have some of that to happen, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll try to.
Scott, have y'all settled on the colors back to the?
Aesthetics.
Aesthetics, have y'all settled on the colors
Yeah,
of the
the
panels?
rendered colors are colors from the
They are-
metal
they
panel
are.
manufacturer. So those are the
There are,
proposed
those are
colors.
the actual colors you're gonna use. Okay. All right, thank you.
Everybody good, or have more questions for
Y'all don't wanna stay
our
here,
Tim?
y'all don't wanna stay here and talk
Vince,
about
have
this
any
all
more
night?
questions for the architect?
Y'all don't wanna stay here and talk about this all night?
No.
Okay, all right.
The rest of us can go. The rest of us can
Hey,
leave.
you want to call for a vote?
Really, the only thing is when I'm walking down the sidewalk, I just don't want that stuff to hit me.
No kidding, that's what.
Well, don't walk now.
Yeah, really.
They're shaking that building pretty good. All right, Commission, so we have a special district request 0325, which is asking for an exterior renovation of the Sure Soft building. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion to approve.
I think I'm going to Ms. Hornsby.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion approved. Are we adjourned?